Yeah, we're recording a podcast. Comics, movies, games, we're so outright geeky.
Yeah, we're outright geeky.
We're so outright geeky.
We're so outright geeky.
And we are live out of the OT Media Studios in downtown Alton, Illinois. We are the Outright Geeks. Amazingly.
All in the studio for the first time in a month.
Yeah, in a month. It's been a hot minute since I've been in here. Bob, you had some time off for a little bit. Joystick's been off for a little bit.
Yeah, I missed last... Whoa, I'm a little heavy.
Are you a little heavy?
I missed last week. Well, I'll just back off a little bit. I'm good.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's been like a 2-geek episode for about 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild, but here we are, all of us together live in person. This is exciting. I miss you guys.
It is episode 6.
Aww, we miss you too.
And I will be the one that gives some in-house stuff. Couple weeks ago, because last week I had an emergency come up and I wasn't able to make it, but a couple of weeks ago, the two boys in here wanted to defend their Game of Thrones. They wanted to prove to me that I was wrong.
What do you mean, two guys?
You're not a guy, right?
And you weren't here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't here that time.
I tried. There was another time where I defended it.
You
Yeah.
did try.
Right. But either way, the two guys wanted to bring it to me.
Proof to the table.
The proof was put in front of me, but I get fiery when I think I'm right and I'm not. And so I left in a huff, and that's why I wasn't here. So that takes care of that business. So yeah, it's been a hot minute since we've been together.
And just for the record here, last episode it was me and Kat and Fred. Our guest was Fred Slow. Thanks for being here, Fred. We were supposed to do a code word, and because of all the craziness that happened, I forgot to do it. So the first person that can go to Facebook, Twitter, however you want to do it, the first person that can give me the code word wins those free comic books from Free Comic Book Day. I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with Amazing Spider-Man 2. There you go.
Ooh. Amazing Spider-Man 2. I like
That's
it.
That's right. Which we talked quite a bit about because me and Brandon went and seen it that weekend. Like, he seen it Thursday and I seen it Friday, and it was awesome.
Now, the only person that I've spoken to that has seen it besides you guys in here, it was actually at Free Comic Book Day. I think it was either Ryan or it was might have been Mike. Either way, hated it because it was like a big love story with sporadic fighting in between. Is the way he spilled it to me. I have yet to
like
go see
every
it.
other Spider-Man movie and or comic book
and/or
ever.
story.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
Fantastic
that's
Four
what it
has
is.
his wife, the Invisible Woman.
Yeah, I mean,
The
Spider-Man
animated
had
series,
Mary Jane.
In all fairness, the animated series, which some people, that's what they focus on when they watch. Like you said, Batman for you were primarily the animated series, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay, so
Spider-Man as well. The '90s cartoons. That's where I grew up.
right,
you know.
but it didn't focus on the love story. It focused on fighting the baddies. And so if you look at it from that perspective, I can kind of understand.
Yeah, but at the same time, those are cartoons aimed at children. They're not as focused on love story as well.
So we
They
like to show
shouldn't-
them like
they shouldn't
beating up
be.
instead of love. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, basically.
Well, kids
I
don't
mean,
want to see kissing
yeah.
as it is. They're like, ew, that's gross.
But I mean, it's not like they're killing each other or life-threatening, and it's like, it's supernatural in nature.
Everybody's
or fiction
okay
in
at the
nature.
end.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes back to that X-Men comic when there was a gun. It was to Cyclops' head, right? That you brought that comic in, and we sat there and
Yeah.
discussed how dark it looked because it was a real weapon. It wasn't the
No, it was
the
a
heat
well-drawn
blast.
gun.
Right. But it was a real weapon in lieu of like Wolverine's claws, which are imaginary, and you can, for whatever reason, watch him disembowel someone and go, oh yeah, but that's imaginary, but a gun's real. You know what I mean? Even though
I think-
technically you could fight with
Yeah.
claws.
Oh, I
think
got you.
I think the symbolism behind that cover in particular with the gun to Cyclops' head is to show that he's, even though he has the mutant blast, other than that, you shoot him in the head and he's gone.
Well, a lot of them you shoot them in the head and they're gone. I mean, Wolverine technically is the only one, or whoever else has healing powers, or Rogue, who's indestructible.
Or Iceman, who's, you shoot him and he just regenerates, and Colossus, he
has a shield.
He's made of metal, and
Right.
Beast has healing powers. I mean, most of them have something to protect them. Cyclops is the most. Him and Angel are the most
Cyclops,
vulnerable.
Angel, Gambit. You could blow a hole through Gambit's
You
head.
could blow a hole through Gambit's head. Correct.
Jubilee.
I don't know though. If he knew the bullet was coming, could he use his kinetic powers? Since he does have.
It depends. A round
Maybe.
goes a lot quicker than that. Like,
True.
Jubilee would go I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
Pyro
Ghibli would be-
might survive it if he flamed up. It's debatable. Like if the bullet
Pyro
hit him,
doesn't flame up though.
he can control
the
fire.
fire.
So and he now carries that backpack, the oxygen tank, whatever the heck it is that he carries. He could flare something up and do that. Maybe I don't know. I'm theorizing whether or not you can shoot pyro. Which you know what? I was always frustrated with him because I've always been kind of into fire myself. I always hated that Pyro was a bad guy.
Did you now?
Yeah, I hated it.
But did you like the Human Torch?
Love the Human Torch.
Okay.
Because I'm into fire.
At least you got one, right?
Right.
One
but I
item.
liked Pyro.
I guess-
I liked the character. I liked the depth to his character. I liked the fact that he was moody about being a mutant and everyone hating on him. But and the fact that he did cooperate with the X-Men from time to time. I wanted him to stay in that realm, but
Gotcha.
It just didn't happen. There's a lot for us to talk about today. I had a fantastic weekend at Geekway. The weekend prior, we had the NFL draft, which honestly, it was kind of good that I wasn't here last weekend because that's what I was focused on was the NFL draft. And now I'm glad that sports news finally got off of Michael Sam, which, that really started getting old, and I felt bad for the poor guy.
Yeah, didn't he get picked up by the Rams?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
So
I feel
he
bad
stayed
for him
local.
too because he got picked up by the Rams. Wasn't he like first? Didn't the Rams get first draft
He
pick?
needs to make the team. The Rams are so loaded. There's a chance he might not make the team. And, of course, if he doesn't make the team because he's gay, that's always going to be in the background lingering. And I genuinely feel bad for him because, yeah, he's finally living out his dream. But people are going to say he's only living out his dream because he came out of the closet, which I don't think that's fair. But there
Actually,
you go. It's coming.
It's the opposite, really. He might not be living out his dream because he came out of the closet, which is
Which is part of the
terrible,
speculation.
yeah.
Which
That's
is
part of
terrible.
the speculation.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
no, he got
ridiculous.
drafted, so bonus. But some people say he only got drafted because he's gay. Of course, there's the other camp that says, yeah, he got drafted, but because he's gay, he got drafted way later than he should have.
Yeah.
So him being gay, regardless of his talent level, regardless of his capabilities, regardless of his performance in college, which he was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, regardless of all that, because he's gay, everything that he does on the field will always be, yeah, but he's
Yeah.
gay. And so I
Yeah.
genuinely
No, I
sympathize
understand.
with him in that regards.
It's ridiculous.
But
It's
yes,
very sad.
I do have Geekway. I have lots to tell. I had an exciting hotel adventure that we will discuss in a little bit. What about
I
you
was having a hard
guys?
time believing it, but yeah, you got to tell the story again.
And I will. But how about you guys? How was your weekend? None of you were at Geekway.
No.
So what happened in St. Louis for those of you normals who don't board game amid stench?
Well, Titanfall, I gotta say that. They had DLC. I still haven't got to play it yet. But besides that, we just got a lot of video game news. We got a new, Batman trailer today. We got first detailed images on Hyrule Warriors, which is a mix between The Legend of Zelda and Dynasty Warriors. And
That would be kind of cool. Like I'm
really excited for it. I'll show you the trailer after the show. But anyways, and then we got some news of Halo 5 Guardians, which is a new game due out this fall. Don't really have much details on that. And then Connectless Xbox One. So I have some things to say about that later.
And I do want to talk to you
Good
about
news on
the Connectless Xbox One.
All right.
Because I'm in the camp that it's not going to affect Kinect games. Some
I'm
people
not
think-
in that camp at
so
all.
you believe that with the Kinect going away,
Oh, it's going to. It's
Kinect
already.
games are gonna go away.
Oh, it's going to be bad.
all right.
It's gonna be real bad. There's a lot of developers already backing out of their games developers, pretty peeved. If you look at Harmonix, who is making the Disney Fantasia game due out this fall, they're expecting a install base of everybody who buys an Xbox One, but now it's going to be an install base of 400 or 4.5 million maybe. Something like that. And out of those 4.5 million, how many of those people actually want the game or play the game? It's definitely going to affect. We'll get into that more later.
All right,
but
absolutely.
it definitely will affect things.
Kitty Cat,
I went to the movies and then I worked.
did you see Gojira?
I wish. We went to see Neighbors because I had to work the next day, so I couldn't stay late for Godzilla.
Oh,
I heard
saw
bad
Gojira.
things about Godzilla.
No,
I heard.
No.
I've heard bad things
one
about
bad
him
thing.
also.
I've heard
yeah.
nothing but bad things.
It was glorious.
I mean, I
Really?
heard it was
Yes.
good, but I heard a couple people were disappointed.
Disappointed in what?
I heard that the Godzilla was only on screen for about 5 minutes.
If you really look at the old Japanese, you know what? Let's get into this in Flick's time because it's going to need
It's going to need some time to be talked about.
As a guy who loved the original Godzilla series, as a guy who like totally like I actually own some of those old Godzillas. I know how they unfolded. This was a beautiful nod to the original Japanese 50s releases while giving it a serious touch and an updated modern look to it. It humanized the characters a little bit more. It had some of that campiness in it. To me, it was brilliant. I will own it, and I would happily go and see it again at the theater. It was very well done.
Okay. They're making a sequel, so you have that to look forward to.
Yay.
They already said that even like, I think it was the day before the movie even released. So like, yeah, you're getting a sequel no matter what. So
I was singing during the movie, Motura, Motura.
What does that mean?
That's how they call Mothra in
okay.
Japan. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It was good. It was really, really good. And Be Mad, your weekend.
It was uneventful. I mean, it was nice. It was a nice, relaxing weekend. Basically, everything that I've been doing has been gearing up for this coming weekend because of Memorial Day, trying to get the RV all prepped and ready to go.
Oh, so if I invited you to my place to help me weed my backyard, you're busy.
This coming weekend?
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, that would be a negative there, Ghost Rider.
I'm home alone. Like, my daughter's going camping, my wife's working. And so, like, my weekend will consist of, well, I'm going to go to work, get some OT, and then come home and weed my yard.
I literally did chores around the house and the RV. So I mowed grass. I mean, even though I thought it was a relaxing weekend, I really didn't like just rest. So I did stuff.
So the code's been given out. Is there any other last minute details that we need to knock out before?
I haven't given out the code, but nobody's guessed it yet.
Okay.
I'm waiting. Go to
I almost said
Geeks.
it.
Don't say it.
I looked at it and I went, "Hey, that Spider-Man thing."
I'm monitoring the Twitter. I'm monitoring the Facebook, and nobody's guessed it yet.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, we are going to discuss all the fun things that we did, or I did, at Geekway.
You did.
I'm going to give a nod to a couple other people that are out there. I met like another board gaming podcaster out there who it was really cool to run into another board gaming podcaster, and just other junk in general that occurred, including what happened in my hotel room. All of that, ladies and gentlemen, all of that is coming up next on the Outright Geeks.
Hey, B-Mad, you busy this weekend?
I've got a date.
A date?
Yes, at Fantasy Books in Belleville, Illinois. I'm missing some comics for the show.
There's a Fantasy Books in Belleville?
Yes, there is. Fantasy Books Inc. is the original location. It's located at 1113 East Main Street in Belleville. They have comics, games, toys, and the largest collection of back issues.
That's awesome. I'm always looking for back issues. Where exactly is that again?
Fantasy Books Inc. is located at 1113 East Main Street in Belleville, and you can call them at 618-235-0844.
Hey, B-Mad, can I borrow your wallet?
Why?
I need more comics.
Hey gang, Brant here. Smoke Clean Vapor Shop is the new official Illinois vapor shop of Under Further Review and is the premier location in Fairview Heights for all of your vaping needs. Smoke Clean has over 150 flavors in stock, with our house blends on par with nearly every premium brand. The customer service is excellent, the management team is superb, and the employees are extremely knowledgeable. Nobody beats our prices. We will make it right. Whether you are brand new to vaping or are an experienced user of authentic and clone mods, Smoke Clean is the clear choice for all your vaping needs. Yeah, that's right, I said authentic mods. Smoke Clean is located in Fairview Heights, Illinois at 5200 North Illinois Street, Suite 108, 62208. Call Smoke Clean right now at 618-27-SMOKE. Visit facebook.com/iSmokeClean. Smoke Clean, the official vapor shop of UFR. I smoke clean. Do you?
Do you want to look, feel, and perform better every single day? Whether you're at home, in the gym, or on the playing field, 180nutrition.org is your source for the best performance nutrition. 180nutrition.org is for everyone. My name is Clint Forsythe.
And I'm Lindsay.
Together we own 180nutrition.org.
Jumpstart your new year with an AdvoCare 24-day challenge before the new year starts.
180nutrition.org, your local and trusted AdvoCare independent distributors. 180nutrition.org. Use what the pros use. Get your AdvoCare 24-day challenge and visit 180nutrition.org. Right now!
Hey Brant, have you been down to the Pump House Bar and Grill in Wood River, Illinois lately?
Yes, Fred, I have. It's my favorite bar and grill in the Metro East.
I've been going there since their opening in February 2012. It quickly became my hometown bar.
I really enjoy their daily drink specials, including their signature little beers and their great menu.
Yeah, it's definitely not just bar food. Their brisket is to die for.
Don't forget about the free chicken chunks with the purchase of a drink every Tuesday, 4 to 7.
It's the weekend destination for a good time. Bands or karaoke every Friday and Saturday night, and football all day Sunday.
The staff and atmosphere are great too. It's like my own man cave with a waitress.
If you haven't checked out the Pump House Bar and Grill, visit their Facebook page, facebook.com/the Pump House Bar and Grill, or just stop in at 1523 East Edwardsville Road, Wood River, Illinois. Just 30 minutes from downtown St. Louis and just 2 minutes from Highway 255. And don't forget to say Under Further Review sent you.
If you're going to any other bar in the Metro East, punch in.
I miss the Epic Sax guy. This is Bob's favorite tune, or B-Mad's favorite tune.
I love this song. It's awesome. That's why I sing like this. Feels so good to get my voice this high. I gotta grab on and hold it. Ah, ha, 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 ha.
There you go. Insta drop. That's the best part of only
we
looping
should
it for
just
30
keep
seconds.
going. Yeah.
Well, I have to loop it longer. I've only looped it for 30 seconds because usually,
I think there's like a 10-hour loop on YouTube.
Oh yeah, there is.
So.
How many of you out there would never want to hear that again? Please tweet now at Outright Geeks.
All right,
You
I
will
need
get
to
no
add us on
tweets.
Twitter.
It'll only be your guys' tweets. So this weekend, it started on Thursday, went all the way till Sunday. Technically till 10 o'clock, but with a lot of people coming in from out of town, they all bolt as soon as the free games are given away. But it was Geekway to the West. It was the 2014 Geekway to the West, a 4-day, 24-hour board gaming convention located at the Sheraton Chalet this time.
How long was it?
24 hours a day, 4 days. I think it started at 9 a.m.
Can I ask? I gotta ask. 24 hours a day. How many people just stay there like old people at a casino, just with a diaper on?
The overnight crew wasn't as heavy as it usually is.
I know you said one night you stayed there till 2.
Well, no, for me, that was actually the earliest I went home. My average go home time was 4 a.m. By then, it was just there was no games available, and so I would just go take a quick
doing
nap.
lines of doing bumps of illegal substances?
No.
I mean,
It's
energy drinks galore.
when your brain is working that hard, like you're actively thinking on each game, how am I going to do my next move and whatnot? You'd be surprised how easy it is to just stay awake.
Okay,
Like that's what gets me because
Your
for
mind's
me,
just buzzing the whole time.
I'm just racing the whole time, and
guess
then as
I'm
soon as I go
old,
home,
because I get in some marathon video game sessions and I'll be like,
no, like for
pass
me,
out.
well, see, because video games, you're not thinking, you're just kind of in. Like, just think of any video game out there. You're in some kind of robotic, instinctual format. Whereas with the board game, you're not doing the exact same motion every 10 seconds. Now, if you played a game of Monopoly, maybe, but
What about Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider, the board game?
No, the video game.
You're
have
not
to
thinking.
think. You have to think through that. There's
I
puzzles.
don't.
and
He
shit.
doesn't mean like.
Well, theoretically, you have to think through Final Fantasy, but at the end of the day, you're just mashing 4 buttons, or, I guess if you want to count the top
Well,
two,
it's more
6.
instinctual. Final Fantasy is probably bad because it's an RPG and you're actually using strategy. But like whenever you're playing like Mario or first-person shooter, yeah, it is more instinct.
Yeah.
More reaction-based and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, some of the puzzle games, they can carry you for a while, but with a lot of the new modern games, and of course, I guess this is more my opinion than anything else, but for some of these games, there's so much story now interspersed, just CGI video interspersed into the game, that by the time you get to you play for like maybe 10-20 minutes, and then here's another film sequence.
Well,
unless
you're
you're
playing
grinding
Batman a lot then.
No, Final Fantasy, hell, the first 20 hours are practically all video with here's a little bit
13
of
was
play.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, 13 was
definitely was
real
like
bad
that. Yeah.
about that. It matters what. I mean, like Bravely Default. It's more of a JRPG style, but it does have like more of a linear story.
Right.
Like whereas like whenever you're playing a board game, it's it is a lot different where you're like you have to focus on like what your strategy is, and like it's not predetermined for you necessarily,
Right.
and it's not reactionary in the sense of like I'm trying to think of a good way to say it, but I can't.
Just think Magic. For all you Magic nerds out there, just think of when you play Magic. I mean, you are focused on your deck. I mean, granted, there's that small element of randomness because unless you're
Yeah.
stacking your deck, what comes up next you truly shouldn't know. Right?
Yeah.
So as you're stacking, you're trying to think, okay, this is what came up. This wasn't what I wanted to come up. What am I going to do next? Your brain is you're locked. You're thinking.
Okay.
If you go into a boss battle, you know, let's say on an RPG, you know what you're going to do when you're going in. You've got certain things set. Even in like World of Warcraft, you're going into a boss battle. You know what your preloads are going to be as you go in. You cast your buffs, and then you go in and you just start mashing buttons. You know, and especially with 13. 13 was a button masher more so than it was anything else.
I'll agree with some of the Final Fantasy games, but I mean, whenever I played through 12, it wasn't button mashing at all. I mean,
Well,
like
12 also had the gambits.
Yeah, but I didn't use them. I was weird.
I did,
But we'll give
only
it to
because
you,
I only
so
wanted
you-
to focus on the one guy.
We'll give it to you. You use your brain more in the games. Did you play any new games, or did you just play the same games you always play?
Oddly, well, yes and no. Like, oddly enough, new game-wise, I played games that were new to me, but not so much new to board gaming in general.
Okay.
And the games that were being given away that had, you know, that people were chasing after were games that I have already played in the past couple of months, but have not had the opportunity to own or, you know, because board gaming budget it can be rather hefty. The cool thing about Geekway is you've got some of these board gaming stores that are much more board game intensive. I'm not going to give their names until they give us some money, but they're out there and they were on site, you know, selling their wares at a discounted price, which is how I wound up getting my expansion to Firefly, which I didn't know came out this weekend, but it came out this weekend.
There you go.
And so I globbed onto that right quick. Haven't had a chance to play it, but it definitely got rid of the for you to have player interaction in the original base set of Firefly, you had to force it. Here, you've got characters that make it happen. Like, your objective is to chase down the other ship. And I'm really excited to finally get that on the table and play it out a little bit. I did not play my favorite game, Battlestar Galactica, which is actually a first for me at Geekway. I was kind
Was
of
it
bummed
there?
about that. Oh, yeah. It was there a couple of times. There were a couple of times where I hooked up with other people going, we're playing, right? We're playing. Yeah. After this game, we're all going to play. And then just one thing after another. Hey, are you ready for BSG? Dude, I just got in the middle of Russian railroads. All right. Get me after this. Hey, man, are you ready? Dude, I just got in the middle of this game. And so I was like, it just
So you kept
wound up
playing
not
tag?
happening. Yeah, it just wound up not happening.
So what was the highlights of Geekway? What were some of the newest things you've seen? Some things you'd like to? Is there anything you can promote?
Well, game-wise, Russian Railroads was there, and it's a game I enjoy tremendously. Even though it has the name Railroads in it, it isn't your standard railroad game because you're not actually building a train in the same aspect. It's just an area control, worker placement type, not even area control, bless you. It's a worker placement game, resource gatherer.
I think she lost some brain on that one.
She may have. There was
I had a brain.
Are you alive?
Yeah, I was going to
Alright.
make that joke, and then I thought I'd be nice, but
Hey, she did it herself.
yeah, she did. There's a game called Cinque Terre that was out there.
What?
Commonly mispronounced as Cinque Terre, which has driven me up the wall. It's an Italian. It's named after an Italian coastline.
Okay, how
And
did you say it again?
Cinque Terre.
Cinque Terre.
Cinque Terre.
That my tongue can't do that.
That's all right. But it's another resource gathering game which I enjoyed tremendously. Coal Baron I had never heard of before. That one was like new to me altogether. Very fun.
What was the most popular game? What was everybody
the
playing?
ones that I'm announcing right now because
really-
they
really
were all on
popular?
the play to win list. And what they do at Geekway is they have play to win, and you go in and you pick up a board that's on the play to win table, and you play the game, right? And then you put your name down on a piece of paper, and then you turn it in, and then at the end of Geekway they announce who the winner is. And basically what they do is they draw from other
Name
board
out of a
games.
hat?
Yeah. And, well, no, not a name out of a hat, but like let's say all four of us played a game of Coal Baron together. We would all put our name on the Coal Baron card. If our Coal Baron card was drawn, then they would roll a d4 to figure out which one of us won the game, and then we would receive the game. And I have never won on the play to wins. As a matter of fact, the only thing that I've won, and I say the only thing, but anyone who's actually listening that's been to Geekway, my first Geekway, I won a crokinole table. Now, the crokinole table is done by raffle. And what happened is the guy that used to work at Fantasy Flight Games designed actually a couple of my favorite games. He designed Blood Bowl. He is the guy that founded Geekway. And he was there, and for a couple of years ago, he had suffered like a massive heart attack, was in a coma. I mean, he had like some serious medical issues go down. And so they decided to raise some money for him by selling this crokinole table. Now, the crokinole table has actually become a standard. Now, I don't know if they did it before because I've only been to the past 3 Geekways. But at that particular one, they put the money together to give to him. And because he had this heart attack, and that same year I had also had some heart issues of my own, I was sympathetic, so I dropped $10, and I wound up winning the crokinole table on a complete win. I had never even heard of crokinole, and I wound up with the table. So that was really cool. It's still in my basement. I still play it. It's a beautiful table. The design is beautiful.
Well, how do you play crokinole?
Crokinole. It's a circular table. It's like shuffleboard, only you flick the discs with your fingers into a little center ring. I'll bring it in.
Shuffleboard is why I will never be on a boat. That, and I've already been on enough in the Navy.
On shuffleboards?
I just don't like shuffleboard.
No, either way.
No, boats. I've been on enough boats in the like my wife's always talking about going on a cruise, and I'm like, you're stuck. I mean, unless you're making stops at ports, you're stuck on a ship.
But there's so much to do on a ship. It's not like a Navy, cruiser.
You can't go anywhere.
There's so much to do, you don't even realize it. They've got shows. They've got food. They've got a pool.
Right, well, I did not mean to squirrel the conversation.
No, I'm just saying. The cruises are fun. I went on one and had an absolute blast.
Okay.
But anyway, aside from that, crokinole, cool.
So what was the most coolest thing that you saw? The most absolute, like, oh my gosh, you geeked out over?
The game Concept.
The game Concept.
Yep, it's a game called Concept.
Let's Google this.
It was absolutely just the wildest thing I've played in forever. It's a party game. It's an absolute blast. There were a few party games. So a game called La Boca, which was like playing Tetris, which was really fun. No, Concept.
No,
Conception may have happened in some of the other rooms, but not on the board gaming tables.
Okay. I'm trying to find it here.
All right. Anyway, so that was fun. I played in a couple of tournaments. There was a Battle Tops tournament I was supposed to compete in, but wound up someone bought me sushi, and so I wound up doing that instead. Played a game called Witch Hunt.
Where did you get sushi from? Like an actual sushi place?
It's Westport, so the Drunken Fish is right there.
Ah, yes, you are correct. Concept Board Game Geek.
Mm-hmm. And Board Game Geek is like and obviously all of you gamers that are listening, you know what Board Game Geek is. So this is more for BMAD than anything else. But
yeah, I dropped it for you guys.
That is the preeminent board gaming website right there. So yeah, I mean that was the thing. Coal Baron. I wanted to say something real quick about Coal Baron. Coal Baron was a fun game. I enjoyed playing it, but it had this tiny little logic built into it that drove me up the wall. Basically, in the game Coal Baron, you're digging a coal mine, and you're supposed to get all these bits of coal, and you're supposed to sell them and whatnot. But one of the scoring elements to the game was you had to make sure that the coal cars that you attached to the coal shaft were equal on both sides, and if you didn't, then you'd lose points. And I was like, because apparently in this particular subterranean universe, coal mines top over if they're too heavy on one side. I was like, what the hell is that? It drove me up the wall.
Okay.
It was like the dumbest thing. Aside from that, the game was very fun.
If the cart was not balanced, it would fall over.
No, not the cart. The shaft would fall over.
Oh, the shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't
It makes no sense whatsoever.
At all.
But aside from all that, the gaming was fun. I had a blast. As soon as pre-reg is back online, it's a guarantee that I will pre-reg again. Do
you want me to talk about Concept real quick?
I'll get into that later when I buy it.
It looks pretty cool.
It is. It's phenomenal. This is something that I'd like to have on the table.
But I've always liked charades type games. It's a little different, but
it's a different type of charades, but it's fun.
I like charades.
The biggest thing that happened this weekend, though, that was kind of humorous was on Thursday night, I only stayed till 2 o'clock. It died early on Thursday night. And so I get a phone call from one of my roommates because there's 3 of us staying in a hotel room. And I get a call from my roommate literally as I'm leaving the Sheraton to go to the Days Inn. And I get a call that goes, hey, are you on your way? I'm like, yeah. He goes, this is my roommate. Someone's in our room. I'm like, what? He goes, somebody is in our room.
Nice.
I'm like, you're kidding, right? He goes, no.
Brandon, what were you doing there?
Nothing.
He goes, all our crap's in there. I'm nervous. I'm like, well, did you wake him up? Did you get him out of there? He's like, no, I'm scared he has a gun or something. He might like lash out at me. I'm like, he's not going to have a freak. He's one of those guys who's like big into guns and carrying knives on him at all times. So because he does, everyone else does, right?
Gotcha.
And no, mind you, the guy's also butt naked on my bed. So I don't know where he's hiding this knife and or gun, but there you go. So where I drive to the hotel room, they bring me in, and he tells me, he's like, okay, so we get into the room, and this is my two buddies. We get into the room, and all of a sudden I turn to look at Kyle, and Kyle looked at me and froze, and then he put his finger to his lips and went, shh. What? Is Tony here? No. He's still at Geekway. Someone's in his bed. And they both turn to look at my bed, and there he is, butt naked guy.
Dum dum
Dun dun dun. And so they bolt out of the room. Kyle goes to get to the front desk to get someone to come over to the room. And then my other buddy stands outside, and he comes, he lets me in, and we're talking out in the hallway a little bit like, who let this guy in? Why aren't we waking up? Let's go in the room and wake him up. No, I don't want to wake him up. He might hit us. It might get weird. And I'm like, it's weird already. So this guy.
Unknown to Mr. Tony Bravo, I bought him a fluffer. I mean, never mind.
His guy comes down the hallway, right?
Okay.
Flip-flops, pajamas, scruffled up hair, big old bushy beard going on. No, not bushy. Yeah, trimmed, whatever. He comes down the hall, looks at us, and he goes, hey, man, hotels, you know what I mean? And I'll go, yeah, man. And then he walks into our room. And I'm like, who the hell's this guy? And so he goes in the room, and all of a sudden you start hearing, hey, dude, wake up. You're in the wrong room. Come on, dude, wake up. You're in the wrong room. Is this his friend? Why is he coming to get him now? What the hell is going on? So the guy gets out of the room, comes, looks at us, he goes, all right, man. I don't know how he got in there. We're going to figure this one out later. I'm like, who are you? He goes, oh, I'm the manager. I'm like, you sleep here? He goes, yeah, all of us do. The entire staff lives here. I'm like, okay.
That shows how much you paid for your room.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so he's like, all right, we're going to figure this out. And so he leaves and comes back with 3 cops in tow. So they all come back. They wake the guy up. The guy comes out, and he looks embarrassed. He's not like aggressive, a-hole-ish. He looks embarrassed. And the cops are like, hey, do you know where you are? He goes, yeah, I'm in my room. I'm just trying to get some sleep. Just let me get some sleep, man. What the hell? Do you know where you are? Yeah, I'm in my room. What room number? 108. Points to the placard. He looks at the placard. We're in 109. He's like, oh, shit. And he bolts into his own room. And so one of the cops follows him. And the other one's kind of like, hanging out with us, and they're talking with us. I'm like, all right, don't worry. We're going to get this taken care of. The manager's like, don't worry. We're going to comp this night for you. Actually, he's paying for your room. And I'm like, I don't care. Obvious mistake. How did he get in? I don't know. Either we didn't seal our door properly, and he just kind of pushed and went in, or his key card worked. That never, ever got determined. We never found out how he got in. But they changed my sheets, and they told us other, hotel nightmare stories, and then we went to bed. But that was about the most exciting thing I've had happen at a Geekway yet.
That's an exciting story.
Yeah, that's just interesting.
They told you other horror stories?
Oh, yeah. Like
of their own hotel?
Their own hotel.
Wouldn't think they'd say that kind of stuff.
Well, no, some lady had come into town because her father was passing away.
Okay.
And very sick in the hotel room. Well, she went in the hotel room, and their family were calling the room, and she wasn't answering. And they were trying to figure out, like, what, hey, oh, my God, call the hotel manager. Hotel manager walked in the room. Lady was dead. Lady had died of exhaustion.
That's not an interesting story. That's sad, Tony.
Well, just saying.
It's sad.
I'm not bouncing for joy right now.
He said horror story.
Right.
He did say horror story.
Yeah. And so, this lady had died, and where the manager kind of came into play on this one was when the family walked in, they didn't want to believe that she was dead, and so they made him start CPR. Well, if you know anything about, the medical field, once you start CPR, you are not legally allowed to stop until someone relieves you or pronounces the person dead. So he was stuck doing CPR to this dead person for half an hour. And so that was
it took them half an hour to get there?
If you know they're dead, you can stop.
She made him start CPR.
I understand that, but if they're dead, you can stop.
No, someone has to relieve you or pronounce them dead. A medical personnel.
Oh, okay.
He's only CPR trained.
No, that's actually a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. Now I know. And knowing is half the battle.
So just don't start.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that had happened to me apparently had happened to someone else 3 weeks prior. Now, the cops were telling us this story where some old guy, some like 60-year-old guy was in bed, and some drunk 20-year-old, I think they said that she went by the name Kat, stumbled into this dude's room, right? Stumbled in this dude's room and just passed out in bed next to him. And so the guy's kind of like,
he was probably excited.
What were you drinking that? Well, he must not have been because he called the cops to get rid of her.
She must have been pretty scary looking then. Wasn't me.
No, that's the funny thing. They said she was actually attractive, but the 61-year-old, he's like, I'm not trying to get in trouble right now. So he called the cops. The cops came in, right? And
He's
this is
probably
the
thinking
officer that
jailbait,
responded to us.
jailbait.
Cop walked in and was like, hey, young lady, do you know where you are? And she was kind of like, room? Do you know where your clothes are? And that's where, the cop made the gesture of her pulling the blankets to cover herself up because apparently she had no clothes. And so apparently the exact same thing that happened to us happened to this old gentleman, just he got luckier than me.
So at this hotel that you work at, or that you were at, do all the workers just go nude all the time?
I guess. I don't know.
All right, cool.
Some of the workers.
What is the name of this hotel?
It was Days Inn, Westport.
All right.
I know the manager
more
was
Days
cool.
Inn
I have
for me.
nothing negative to say about the manager. They took great care of us.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything
And you
negative
said
about the Westport.
I was gonna say you said the room was nice. It was for the price.
It came with a free extra naked guy. I'm sure Tony loved it.
Exactly. It was
Bonuses.
fantastic.
Bonuses all around.
You should have
So-
had him cater to your drinks and stuff all night.
That was Geekway in a nutshell. For those of you gamers who have never gone to a con, there's a couple more coming up. DICON is next month, followed by, I want to say Archon and then Gen Con. Gen Con's the one out in Indianapolis. DICON is actually here local. You got to go down to Collinsville, so local to the Illinois area. It actually has a decent crowd that shows up. It's pure gaming, but it's all gaming. It's miniatures. It's actually really miniatures heavy. There's RPGing that's done there, and then there's a small board gaming area where the Atomic Squash guys, which is who I represent, they partake. And then we share the room with the Legend of the Five Rings guys, and that's a group of people that they cosplay and play this card game called Legends of the Five Rings. And at the same time, they are writing a story. So whatever happens at this tournament becomes part of the permanent story, which I think is fast. I still won't play it, but I think it's a fascinating aspect of this game.
Was there any cosplaying going on at Geekway?
I didn't see any. At Geekway, I think the big thing there is how long can you go without showering as you continue to play? There were a few times where, actually, real quick aside, and then we're going to go into your comics. There was one of the games we were playing.
I like how he gets real. He's like, okay. One of the games.
This
what
is how
should
I tell stories.
And how should I say it? Because this could go south.
This could go south. We were playing a game called One Night Werewolf. Okay? One Night Werewolf. If you know the werewolf game, or if you don't know the werewolf game, it is basically a social interaction game where you try to determine who the bad guys are and you try to figure them out and point them out and kill them off before the game ends. In this particular episode of One Night Werewolf, we knew who the werewolf was because they had rather powerful body odor, and you can smell them move. Because when you play the game, you close your eyes, and a moderator tells who to wake up, when to wake up, and when to identify certain things. So everyone's heads down, everyone's eyes shut, and then you smelled the werewolf. And then we were like, okay, we know who it is. Let's go ahead and do some of the social interaction part just to kind of help save face. And then I looked at one of my buddies and I went, dude, favor, if I smell like that, please tell me.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be that guy.
We're all friends here. If I start stinking real bad, let me know, okay?
Yeah, dude, like if I wet myself,
wrong?
I want someone to tell me.
All right, I gotta go take a shower.
It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's embarrassing enough on its own,
It
but
is.
if you can smell it, please tell me because I don't want to be that guy.
Well, I've always said that if I start, if I start needing depends, just put me out of my misery. Put a bullet in it. Give me a fast car that can run off a cliff. Something. Just
Actually,
put a bullet in me.
Depends are starting to look like they're starting to look like real underwear now. They
Let's-
don't look like a garbage bag with
Let's
two
not go
holes
there.
cut out.
Let's not go there.
So anyway, that's Geekway. DICON's coming up next. If you missed Geekway, register for next year. Worth every penny. There were 1,000 people there, and it was a blast. It's a great place to learn new games, meet new friends. I ran into all sorts of people from around the country. I played with guys from New York, the strong contingent from Iowa. I've made some friends from Iowa. As a matter of fact, Julie, if you're listening, shout out to you. Thanks for listening. And, Geekway, do it again next year. DICON coming up next. Also, on the premise of coming up next, B-Mad, you got any flavor or flair to give us?
Some Walking Dead news and a bunch of comics.
Walking Dead news. I like the sound of that. We're talking comic Walking Dead, no, not the show.
Yeah, comic Walking Dead.
Because I don't like the sound of show Walking Dead.
You're not gonna
news.
hear anything about the show until October.
Beautiful. Oh man, they're gonna ruin my birthday. So more comic books. more Walking Dead, all of that next on the Outright Geeks podcast, brought to you by, oh wow, we haven't said this,
Fantasy Books Inc.
I feel bad.
We just got into it. So Fantasy Books Inc., they have 3 locations. They have the original Fantasy Books Inc. in Belleville, Illinois, Fantasy Books and Games in Fairview Heights, and Heroic Adventures here in Edwardsville, which seems to be, everybody in the
Our
rooms
home.
Away from home. But we did have a good time at Fantasy Books and Games over in Fairview, me and Joystick, when we divided up everything for Free Comic Book Day. So we did show another one of the store some love.
Yep.
Actually, if you're going to play tabletop, that store is pretty big for tabletop.
Heroic
It
Adventures?
is.
No.
Or Fairview Heights? Oh, yeah.
Fairview
Heights
Heights
is
is
big for gaming.
awesome.
I concur.
There,
It's a bigger drive for me.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But they
But
got
man.
it's a much bigger store, and they've got a lot more for the gaming person. Because
They-
that store was combined.
Their games are laid out differently, so they're much more on display. That I'll give you, but I actually think that the Edwardsville store, it's more condensed and it's not displayed in the same way, but I think the Edwardsville store might carry a little bit more games,
Really?
whereas the Fairview Heights has a little bit more on the miniatures. I think.
True, you are correct. But those back tables are set up, and they're always up, and then they pull them out to do whatever.
They have gaming, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's great gaming that goes on there. I know a few of my friends that do play there because that's closer for them. But for me personally, Heroic Adventures is my gaming home. But we're going to go into your comic books, and we're going to listen to a little bit more from our sponsors here right now.
Dude, I'm stressing out. It's New Comic Book Wednesday, and I'm nowhere near my favorite comic book store.
Where are you?
I'm in Fairview Heights.
Then go to Fantasy Books and Games. It's right there in Fairview Heights next to the Dandy Inn at 1977 West Highway 50. They have a fantastic collection of comics, books, toys, and games. Grab your stash and come back for the show.
Thanks, Tony B. I'm headed over there right now to Fantasy Books and Games at 1977 West Highway 50.
Or call them at 618-624-0920.
Hey gang, Brant here. Smoke Clean Vapor Shop is the new official Illinois vapor shop of Under Further Review and is the premier location in Fairview Heights for all of your vaping needs. Smoke Clean has over 150 flavors in stock, with our house blends on par with nearly every premium brand. The customer service is excellent, the management team is superb, and the employees are extremely knowledgeable. Nobody beats our prices. We will make it right. Whether you are brand new to vaping or are an experienced user of authentic and clone mods, Smoke Clean is the clear choice for all your vaping needs. Yeah, that's right, I said authentic mods. Smoke Clean is located in Fairview Heights, Illinois at 5200 North Illinois Street, Suite 108, 62208. Call Smoke Clean right now at 618-27-SMOKE. Visit facebook.com/iSmokeClean. Smoke Clean, the official vapor shop of UFR. I smoke clean. Do you?
Tony Bravo, I'm looking for something to do Monday night. You got any plans?
Dude, every Monday night I'm board gaming at Heroic Adventures. I drive out to 1005 Century Drive in Edwardsville, Illinois, and I game till the store closes.
That's awesome. I can stop by, grab some comics, and sit down and game with you.
Why stop at comics? They have an amazing collection of board games, magic cards, toys, and other collectibles. Heroic Adventures is a great place to buy your game and play it too.
Fantastic. I'm like 5 minutes away at SIUE.
I'll see you here at 1005 Century Drive in Edwardsville, Illinois. And if you need to, give them a call at 618-659-0099. I understand. This song is well missed.
No, it's...
And so as
my mic is off.
No, all mics are on.
No, my mic is off.
No, your mic is on.
Oh,
the
then
music
you
is
must
just
have-
that loud. Yeah, I potted you down quite a bit on the headphones. We've had some headphone complaints. Here, I'm going to mess with that in a minute. But we are the Outright Geeks, brought to you live out of downtown Alton, Illinois, in the OT Media Studios, the Oatmeal Town Studios, by the Fantasy Books Inc. group. Catch them online, fantasybooksinc.com, or go to any one of their 3 fabulous... can we say beautiful? Are they beautiful locations? I can't say beautiful like you. Give me beautiful.
They are very beautiful. You have the Belleville, you have the Fairview Heights, and you have the Edwardsville. And they are Fantasy Books Inc., the original in Belleville, Fantasy Books and Games, Fairview Heights, and Heroic Adventures.
And this
in
is...
Evil.
And this is like the place, right? Where, hang on.
What is the place?
This is like the place where you do your thing, right?
Like where I go to get my comics?
Hello, hang on. That's
Hey,
not what we wanted.
Whoa.
It's gone.
Whoa. Hey.
What'd you do?
Yeah, we recorded.
What's gone? Yeah, you can
It's
turn that
gone.
off.
Comics,
Oh, I'm
movies,
sad. It's
games.
gone.
What's gone?
Your music, the music that
music
you wanted me
gone?
to play, it's gone.
I have it on here if you want to play it through this, if you can.
We do want to play it through that because you made me say and swear up and down we were going to play this for you. Bob has his extra Be Mad. Should we drop these nicknames? We never use them. I think that needs to become a discussion.
You prefer Anthony.
Yeah, I prefer Anthony. Tony Bravo is just a shtick I picked up way back in the day because I really like Johnny Bravo. And Anthony Bravo just doesn't work like Johnny or Tony Bravo does. So I've done Tony Bravo, but when I'm being addressed in person, I prefer Anthony. Even though my BGG geek name is Tony Bravo.
Mine started in high school, so
You have it loaded?
yeah. So when I got my car, my first license plate, I wanted to have my name on it, and I didn't just want to put Bob on there. My first name is Bob, and my last name is Madewell. You got to open up the top. So my last name is Madewell. So I put on there, instead of putting Bob Madewell, because you can't fit all that on there, I put B and then the first three letters of my last name, Mad. So Be Mad. Everybody thought that was the coolest thing ever. Oh my gosh, where'd you come up with that? And I'm like, it's my name, and I didn't even get it. There you go. So Be Mad and his stash. My kids are gonna love this. They had so much fun when I was putting this together. No, Tony. No, Tony. No.
It's not that kind of song.
It is not.
If you're watching on the
Whoa.
video stream,
You're getting a show.
Tony is trying to become a naked man in a hotel room.
You are hairy too.
I'm trying to cool off. It is ridiculously hot in this
yeah.
studio.
I'm fine. I got all these Capri Suns to cool me off and these chips I'm eating, and okay, that happened.
So, getting into the stash. Last week I picked up.
The video feed is showing it right now.
Oh, okay.
So now I actually get to watch myself being an idiot. There we go. Hello.
So last week I picked up Justice League United #1, which is Justice League Canada, if you will. You got Martian Manhunter, you got Animal Man, you got Stargirl, you got Green Arrow, and you got the return of Adam Strange, and then a new character. You know what? I'm going to reserve judgment on this book. I was not overly impressed. It was well written. The art was beautiful. The art was good. But I don't know if there needs to be another Justice League. I think that all that is going too far. But
So
with some of the
is
other
Martian Manhunter from Canada? Because I thought he was from like Mars.
none of these guys are from Canada. Their story just starts in Canada.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
It is. It is. The comic books that I've been picking up nowadays have all gotten a little weird, and the fact that all these, especially with DC, they did all this stuff to clean up the multiverse, and then they immediately go into the Forever Evil storyline where the Earth 3 villain or heroes that are villains come and invade, and now they're having this big giant crossover event where the 5-year futures end goes 5 years into the future, where they're trying to stop some event, and the worlds have had a war and they've combined, and it's just getting to be too much.
All these worlds, and mind you, I'm saying this as a Superman fan. Okay.
Well, they're going to do a whole Superman multiversity where they're
See,
going to bring
need to leave
all
that
these
alone.
Supermen out.
They need to leave all that alone.
And then the Spider-Man the comics, DC and Marvel are fighting each other because the Spider-Man are doing like a Spider-Man saga where this one Spider-Man Slayer is going through all the different multiverses as well. So you got a Superman multiverse story along with all the other DC Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3 wars going on. It's just, I'm getting to a point where I'm almost ready to go, you know what, I'm going to back off for a while, and I'm going to pick up, as Brandon from Fantasy Books and Games, Fairview Heights, calls them, I'm going to pick up a bunch of indie books.
You know what? I'm listening to you talk about them gets me in that same vein.
Convoluted.
It is, and that's always been my issue with comic books in general. Like me, I love superheroes. I love the concept of someone with an ability that no one has doing good things.
Absolutely.
That's just something I'm big into. And then they're beaten up, and then that this goes into a topic that we can tackle on another day. Why can I not speak? I'm in radio,
idea.
people. I cannot speak. But you have all these stupid storylines from all these random people that say, hey, this is how I would treat Superman. And then someone else, this is how I would do Batman. And then someone else comes in later, well, I don't like your Batman. I'm going to do this Batman. And then you have the movies where Christopher Nolan, well, this is the one Batman for this universe, and here's the Batman for this universe. And the screenshots came out. I think you posted them, what, Monday?
I did, like, a couple weeks ago. I think it's been a couple weeks now,
The Ben
hasn't it?
Affleck Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it looks like The Dark Knight. And everybody complained because they were like, well, it looks very much like Christopher Nolan's Batman. But it was a black and white, one chrome photo.
Wait, the new picture?
The new picture. They said it looks a lot like the Christopher Nolan Batman because it's all black.
Yeah, it looks
black
nothing like that.
at all.
If you
That's what I
go
said.
and you look
it's an
at the...
artsy-fartsy Batman.
No, it's like
It's
Frank
Frank
Miller.
Miller's
yeah.
Dark Knight Batman.
Yeah, it's super...
No, but it's
Did they
artsy.
color it
the picture,
right?
The picture was artsy-fartsy is what I'm
Yeah, it
getting
was
at.
really
Oh,
dark.
yeah, definitely.
And then somebody went and took Photoshop and did a high res, like a bleed of it, so you can actually see all the detail. And then somebody else went and outlined like the bat and everything. And it's definitely Frank Miller's Batman if they color it right, which is it's like dark gray and a purple, right? Or was it like a black
I
and
think
dark
it's like
gray?
it's either a dark blue, maybe dark
Maybe.
purple. I don't. It's a. I was actually ever since I started with this movie, I was like hoping that they go black and
Did
gray.
you see the new title?
Yeah. I was actually gonna get into that on Flicks Time.
Okay,
But
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff on that.
Well, let me go back into the stash real quick.
No, please.
Sorry. So the next DC book I picked up 2 last week. I got a very small offering from last week. Futures in number 2. Free Comic Book Day had number 0. Number 1 was the week before. This is number 2. It is Batman Beyond, going back in time, but he misses his mark by 5 years. So it's 5 years in our future. I don't know how many years back he went, but he missed his mark to stop an event that was going to happen. So the event is happening now, and he's trying to prevent the same event, but it's already in motion. Like he was supposed to go back far enough where he would just kill it all together. It has a lot to do with Mr. Terrific, which has never been that's never been one of my favorite characters, but it also touches base on the multiple universes. And in this episode, Green Arrow's funeral, because Green Arrow dies. So 5 years from now, Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, is supposed to die if the events transpire as they're transpiring. So that was number 2 of Futures In. I do enjoy this story. I'm just mad about the multiple universes. So then we go into the Marvel titles, because that's all I picked up last week was Marvel and DC. Just happened to be that way. Once again, convoluted storylines. I picked up All New X-Men because they finally focused back on the X-Men that are on planet Earth, not the young X-Men that are out in space with the Shi'ar. So I picked it back up thinking, okay, cover's really cool. It's the alternate future X-Men.
Is that Gray Beast?
No, it's like
else?
some kind of weird Iceman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Some kind of weird Iceman.
Interesting.
That's what I said. So once again, these are, if the storylines continue the way they are, these are X-Men of the future coming back in time to prevent a story or prevent an event. It's just
Another Days of Future Past?
kind of, I guess.
But just
They're all
different.
after the Phoenix. So the all new X-Men is a story based upon Beast, the Beast of our timeline, pulls his past self and the original 5 into the present to show Cyclops the error, and the other X-Men the error of their ways. So then these guys come from the future because this event happened, and they try to stop it because it causes a chain of events. But since the timeline somehow is skewed, the original 5 can't go back to their timeline. But obviously they still went through their timeline because the future ones are still there and have no recollection of all this. So something has happened that the timelines have shifted. It's all Back to the Future to me. This line went this way and then it splintered off, and so I really seriously thought about going back to Heroic Adventure and going, you know what, give me my money back for this. It's not great. I'm not happy.
Mind you, I'm a Doctor Who fan. I enjoy the show. I enjoy what it brings to the table. But I'm kind of getting tired of like the whole time thing and not taking anything into consideration with how timelines would really unfold.
DC is really bad about that because
Marvel's bad about that.
DC's worse because everything that happened previously to the New 52 suddenly didn't happen. And if you go with the events that they've laid out before you in the 52, that Batman was out before Justice League, but the Justice League formed 5 years ago. How many Robins does he have? And where did he find the time to make all these Robins? Because in the Batman book by itself, they haven't really said how much further into the past he's gone. But if he's a 20-something-year-old dude, even if he's a 30-something-year-old dude, you're only going back maybe 10 years. In 10 years, you've had 5 Robins, like what, one every couple of years? Because all of them there.
He's like Captain Sunshine from the Venture Brothers.
I don't know. So the next book that I have here is number 2 of Nightcrawler. And all I have to say about this is the cover is fantastic. Chris Claremont is an excellent writer. But Nightcrawler having his own book, I just don't think that Nightcrawler can carry his own book. And the story could just fit into any X-Men universe book that's going on right now and say Uncanny or whatever it might say and still be a good story. Him having his own book, I was giving it a chance because of Claremont. I'm not going to say anything bad about it. When it comes to the art or the story, I'm going to say that I really don't think Nightcrawler deserves his own story.
He should
really
be like a background character.
He should. He's just...
Do you think the movie got him his own
You
comics?
mean the first trilogy?
Mm-hmm.
No, they killed him off, and this is their way of bringing him back. So the storyline is that...
and see, that's something else I'm done with. I'm tired of.
Why are you spooning me? I'm going to get in trouble.
It's because of your nom 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 nom.
So the last book that I got from last week that I'm going to review is All New Ultimates number 2. I really don't think I was happy with any of my books except for Future's End, because this story, it's a relaunching of the Ultimates. As you know, in the Ultimate Universe, Captain America's died. Tony Stark's like, we're not going to be the Ultimates anymore, and he does this big eulogy at Captain America's funeral. And then Spider-Man, who's Miles Morales in this universe, Jessica Drew, or at least that's her code name, even though she's a clone of Peter Parker, the Black Widow that's on the cover here, and a couple other, like Cloak and Dagger, a couple other B characters.
What about Bucky Barnes?
No. Have all joined up to be these new Ultimates, and in this episode, they get their butts handed to them by a bunch of wannabe gangsters called like the Snakes or the Vipers or something or another. It was bad. The story, I'm just like, I hope it gets better. Let's just hope it gets better.
Like, you're actually going to bother to continue with it if the first one bothered you that bad?
I always give a book 3 chances. I go through the first 3 issues, and then after that, like I gave up on Undertow. I went through the first 3 issues. I did not pick up issue 4, which did come out today from Image. I couldn't tell you one single name of any of those characters. I just could not get invested in them. The retro art was cool with the weird the weird colors, like the pinks and the purples and all that, which it was interesting. The art was interesting, but
Not
the story
beautiful.
it was interesting. I'm trying to avoid that, Mr. Tony Bravo.
That's your stick. You need to embrace it.
True. So this week, hold on, let me get a giant stack here.
Oh, we're going through all of those?
We're not reviewing. This is what I picked up this week. We're just going to go through titles. So what came out this week that was in my stash? V-Wars number 2 from IDW.
The art is beautiful. The cover is beautiful.
That's a nice cover.
It is.
The art's really good, too. Amazing Spider-Man number 2. So just in line with the movie, they relaunched Spider-Man, got the whole Doc Octopus thing, story from Superior Spider-Man all done, and they've relaunched. So Amazing Spider-Man number 2.
And now is it a black
Electro on the cover.
Is it the Jamie Foxx Electro?
No, it's not. This is the regular universe.
Okay.
Daredevil number 3, which this is Wade and Samney, and I've been enjoying this quite a bit. Then we have number 1 here of MPH, Mark Miller book, Image title. It's a new story. Don't know anything about it yet. I'm sure it has something to do with super speed. And then Amazing X-Men, a homage to our youth, Tony Bravo. It's Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Yes.
It's
Yes, it is.
It's Firestar and Iceman. So it's a story, Amazing X-Men. It's a story with Spider-Man, Firestar, and Iceman, which if you were... And it's an awesome cover. I really like this cover.
I do.
So I can't wait to dig into that. That's Amazing X-Men number 7. Cat, East of West number 12 is out.
Yay!
And it's got a really cool cover as well. So that's a Hickman book there from
I have to go
Image
get that
Studios. And finally, Forever Evil number 7. Now, this is the start of the Earth 3 Justice League, which in Earth 3, the Justice League are evil. So you got Ultraman, who's an evil version of Superman. You got Owlman, who's an evil version of Batman. This is the conclusion of the Forever Evil storyline, which it's been delayed. So most of the books in the DC universe have gone past this point. So...
and Bizarro Batman, or Bizarro Batman, that'd be
Bizarro
fine.
Superman.
Is a good guy?
He's being controlled by Lex Luthor.
Okay. So a good guy. Because Lex Luthor's a good guy in this world.
No, he was a bad guy.
And
In our universe, and for every evil, he was our universe's Lex Luthor. The Earth 3 Lex Luthor has the powers of Shazam.
Right.
That was the reveal from issue 6. So issue 30, which came out at the same time as Forever Evil number 7, is the continuation of the Justice League story with Lex Luthor being on the team. So he's prominent on the cover if you want to take a look here.
Okay.
So it's a continuation of that story right there.
There's too much going on here, though.
I know. Then we get into the 2 Cullen Bunn villain books, which I'm very happy that the number 1 and I'm on. So number 1 of Sinestro was last week. This is number 2 of Sinestro. It's Sinestro's own story. He's back to being a Yellow Lantern instead of a Green Lantern. Cullen Bunn is an awesome writer. He's the local St. Louis writer.
Did you say back to being a yellow? Does he go back to being a Green Lantern in the?
In the beginning of Green Lantern in the New 52, he had a green ring on.
Okay, all right. So that's what you mean by going back. They've resumed that storyline.
He has gone back to being a Yellow Lantern. So when you start out the New 52 universe,
does he start as yellow or green?
He started off as a Green Lantern. The Green Lantern number 1 is a picture of him on the cover, profile view, green ring.
Okay, so so he becomes a Yellow Lantern.
He's
in
now
this
a yellow.
world.
No, he's now a Yellow Lantern again.
Right. Well, you can't say again because it's a reboot.
True. So now he's a Yellow Lantern. Cullen Bunn again, Magneto number 4, the story of the downtrodden Magneto trying to fight for mutant rights again. Much better, more robust story, much better written with Cullen Bunn behind it because it's Magneto being a straight up terrorist.
Really?
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, Shield's on his heels. I forgot all about this. Rocket Girl number 5. It's been a while since this came out. I don't even remember where the story was. That's how long it's been.
She looks like she should transform into a car.
She's from the future, and she's a cop. She's got a flight suit. So she went back into the past to stop the formation of her company that made all of her tech.
So then she wouldn't have any tech and have any reasons to go back in time.
Don't understand what it's all about. I've been reading it, and it's been so long since I read it. It's been a month, if not longer, since there's been a delay in that one. So as I told you before, I picked up Wolverine and the X-Men because of Free Comic Book Day, or not Free Comic Book Day, Comic-Con. I got a signed number 1 with a variant cover from there, and we gave one away as a prize to I can't remember his name.
Mike Potter.
Thank you. But I picked it up. We're on issue 4 now. Quentin Quire and Cyclops, 2 of Logan's worst enemies right now. Then Uncanny X-Men number 21, a Bendis book.
You actually match right now, Joystick.
Thanks.
Futures in number 3 with Mr. Terrific on the cover. Fair play is his motto. It's all tattooed on his back. He's all buff and after the Beyond Batman or Batman Beyond. And then here's the news I was talking about. I picked it up. I usually pick up the volumes, but I picked it up. It's issue 127 of The Walking Dead. It's called A New Beginning. So the war is over that they've been going through right now. All Out War storyline is over, and now they are starting a new beginning. So this is a double issue for a single issue price. You're gonna pay $3 for 2 books all in one. I think that's pretty amazing. So new story arc,
and so it is all new characters, all new everything, huh? Just the same.
I don't
universe.
know if it's all new characters. I have not tore into this book yet. I really wanted to and have not because I usually collect the volumes. I know Rick is still a part of it. I don't know if they're going to be introducing new characters, but the war with Negan is over, and they've won, and this is the aftermath, and it's a couple years later after that war. So where this picks up there's been an amount of time in between it showing how they've picked up the pieces and rebuilt after the horrible bloody war that they were going through with Negan and the Angels.
Angels.
Isn't that what they were called? The Guardian Angels?
Oh, so it's like a group, like a biker gang, not like
Kind of,
actual
yeah.
descending from heaven.
No.
Okay,
No.
I was going to say that's you're taking
No.
a left turn with the storyline if you're going down that road.
No, they did not do that.
Okay. All right.
They're
Cool.
the Saviors. That's what they call themselves.
Okay.
The Saviors. Negan and his Saviors. So they had a very bloody battle with them, and this is where it picks up a couple years later.
Okay. All right.
And that is my stash.
Now, With what you've been discussing, I can't help but wonder if someone could pitch a concept, an idea, to either Marvel or DC. I genuinely don't care, because both universes have characters that, interweave in each other's storyline. Like S.H.I.E.L.D. has always been primarily an Avengers storyline, but now making its appearances in X-Men. Obviously, same universe, but still leaning more heavily towards one than the other, right?
The Marvel universe has always crossed over all their characters.
Right. But, for example, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been more predominant Avengers than it has been.
Nope. S.H.I.E.L.D. chases after the X-Men quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah, Maria Hill right now is after Magneto.
What I wish they would do is purge about a third of their characters and just give you a story. Because there's too many to give you a good... Like, I think they could give you a good, solid story. Kind of do like the way they did the Avengers movie, right? Where you have all the core Avengers, they had their own individual movie, except for who didn't get his own movie.
They all had a solo film, technically.
Technically, the Hulk did,
except for the Black Widow.
Thank you.
Well, Black Widow and
Hawkeye
Hawkeye were both kind of side characters to the
Correct.
actual. They weren't. They weren't original Avengers either. So.
Right, and the Wasp hasn't, shown up yet.
Wasp
and she's an
and
Avenger.
Ant-Man.
So the original
The
Avengers were Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, the
Captain
Wasp.
America, Wasp.
No,
and
Captain
the Giant.
America was
Yeah,
not
Captain
one of the
America
original.
was.
Not one of the original Avengers.
I just read it on Wikipedia.
I'm staying out of this one because
Yep.
I don't want to leave in a huff.
Anyways.
But I believe Captain America was an original. But
He
either
was
way,
the first
I wish what they would do is that concept only with the comic book universe. Like, here is a storyline, pure Spider-Man. Here's Thor. Here's this. And then you kind of interweave all these guys together into, like, one world where something happens and they all collaborate together for some reason before they kind of break off and they do their own independent crime fighting in their own little towns or whatever. And if they share a town, then they work together type thing. You know what I mean? It feels so convoluted, like, hey, Spider-Man's an Avenger today, and hey.
Here, there's the original Avengers. Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Wasp, and Ant-Man. No Captain America.
No Black Panther either.
Nope.
Well, I knew Black Panther wasn't one.
He's always been added after the fact.
One of their first, and when they did the Avengers, number one was, it said Thor, Ant-Man, Hulk, Iron Man, the Avengers. Didn't even mention the Wasp. She was left out completely, and their first villain was Loki.
I like that. Well, we've got a lot still to discuss. I saw Gojira, you saw Neighbors, and Game of Thrones. Somebody died. I bet you didn't see that coming. And someone flashed their hoo-ha. I bet you didn't see that coming. We're going to discuss a whole bunch of that with the cat and the joystick and the Tony B. And did you see any movies this weekend? B-Mad's going to stay quiet for the remaining portion of this show.
Man, that's sad.
Only for you.
Okay.
Everyone else is rejoicing.
Woohoo!
As we continue the Bob Madewell Show next on the Outright Geeks.
Listen here, ass clown.
Hey, B-Mad, you busy this weekend?
I've got a date.
A date?
Yes, at Fantasy Books in Belleville, Illinois. I'm missing some comics for the show.
There's a Fantasy Books in Belleville?
Yes, there is. Fantasy Books Inc. is the original location. It's located at 1113 East Main Street in Belleville. They have comics, games, toys, and the largest collection of back issues.
That's awesome. I'm always looking for back issues. Where exactly is that again?
Fantasy Books Inc. is located at 1113 East Main Street in Belleville, and you can call them at 618-235-0844.
Hey, B-Mad, can I borrow your wallet?
Why?
I need more comics.
Hey, Brant, have you been down to the Pump House Bar and Grill in Wood River, Illinois lately?
Yes, Fred, I have. It's my favorite bar and grill in the Metro East.
I've been going there since their opening in February 2012. It quickly became my hometown bar.
I really enjoy their daily drink specials, including their signature little beers and their great menu.
Yeah, it's definitely not just bar food. Their brisket is to die for.
Don't forget about the free chicken chunks with the purchase of a drink every Tuesday, 4 to 7.
It's the weekend destination for a good time. Bands or karaoke every Friday and Saturday night, and football all day Sunday.
The staff and atmosphere are great, too. It's like my own man cave with a waitress.
If you haven't checked out the Pump House Bar and Grill, visit their Facebook page, facebook.com/the Pump House Bar and Grill, or just stop in at 1523 East Edwardsville Road, Wood River, Illinois. Just 30 minutes from downtown St. Louis and just 2 minutes from Highway 255. And don't forget to say Under Further Review sent you.
If you're going to any other bar in the Metro East, punch in.
Fantasy Books Incorporated has been serving the Metro East area for over 30 years, with 3 outstanding locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, and Heroic Adventures in Edwardsville, Illinois. You will find the best customer service, expansive product offerings, comfortable gaming space, and anything else a comic book and gaming customer may want or need. If you cannot find what you're looking for, they will do their best to get it for you. The goal of Fantasy Books is to be your number one choice for comic books, gaming products, and collectibles. They hope to see you there at one of their locations soon.
Find them online at fantasybooksinc.com.
All right, that didn't work out quite as well on my phone as it did on yours. I don't know why it's so staticky.
I don't either, but now I can't hear my headphones. I can't hear
All right,
my
well,
mic
I'll
either.
turn it off. I was going to do something special for you.
Thanks, Brandon.
I don't think you... Yeah, there you go.
I was going to do something special for you and not play Epic Sax Guy, but apparently this doesn't want to plug into my phone the same way it does yours. It doesn't love me as much.
Do you want me to play something for you?
That's all right.
You sure?
We're the Outright Geeks, live out of the OT Media Studios in downtown Alton, Illinois, and we are brought to you by the wonderful people over there at Fantasy Books, Inc., who give you 3 wonderful locations. If you're in the Edwardsville area,
Visit
Heroic
Heroic
Adventures.
Adventures,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am. If you are in the Fairview Heights area, then you would go to...
Fantasy Books.
Oh, I
And
figured you're going to keep doing it.
Oh,
You stomped on
I
me on
don't
the
know.
last one. I was like, let's keep going. And then if you're in the Belleville area and you're looking for some back issues of comics, then you need to go to...
Fantasy Books.
There we go. The excitement.
Incorporated.
We love you, sponsor. They
Incorporated.
just don't sound the part.
Well, I was supposed to mention this, and I haven't done it yet. Fantasy Books Inc. is pleased to partner with the St. Louis Cardinals to bring you Superhero Night at Busch Stadium Tuesday, June 3rd.
Cool.
By purchasing a special themed ticket, you'll get entry to the game, an exclusive Superhero Cardinals t-shirt. Kid sizes include a Cardinals cape and access to the theme night section of the park where you can visit the Fantasy Books Inc. booth and take pictures with some of your favorite superheroes.
And throw first pitch.
Cardinals.com/theme. And thank you from the staff of Fantasy Books Inc.
And throw first pitch.
That was the contest. Isn't that over with now?
Is it over
like the
with?
raffle?
Oh, for shame.
I think the raffle's over with.
Well, someone got to win first pitch, which I think is pretty exhilarating.
That is pretty awesome. But if you just want to go to a comic book themed night with the Cardinals, if you wanted to cosplay just for the heck of it and show off, June 3rd would be the night to go.
And you know some random Cardinal will go up. And who are they playing? The Braves? Who are they playing? Or is it just say
they're
Cardinals
playing
night?
here.
Right, but there is an opponent, sir.
I don't know what the I don't know.
The look you gave me, like, haha, they're playing the Cardinals. No. The
No,
Cardinals
you
are
said
the
where
home
they.
team.
You said where
No,
are they playing?
Who are
at?
they playing?
You
Who?
said where?
Who?
You said where
Who?
is on first.
I'm Owlman.
Is on
Who?
first.
All right, so anyway.
What is on second?
There was a fantastic... Now, this weekend, I did go to Geekway, but right after Geekway, my wife is a huge, like, dinosaur-ish type person, and so she wanted to see Gojira. And Gojira, which even the Japanese character who was in The Last Samurai, Ken, I can't pronounce his last name, he's in the movie. They all said Godzilla. They never once said Gojira. The closest you got to it was Godzilla. That was about as close. But for me personally,
Casey Royals.
no,
Isn't that right?
Casey who? Is that who won the? Oh, Kansas City. I thought you were talking somebody named Casey. Yes, that's the Kansas City Royals.
That's what I said.
No, I heard Casey Royals, and I'm like,
KC, Kansas City.
right. But I
You
was
can't say it
talking
that way?
about Godzilla, and
Oh,
you came out with a Casey Royals as I was trying to pronounce Ken, whatever his last name is, and you came at me with Casey Royals. So
The
I
shirt
thought
looks pretty sweet.
it does look cool.
It's like opening up your shirt. St. Louis Superman shirt.
Okay, so you were on one planet, I was on the other. But
You told me to look it up.
Godzilla. It is wonderful. Go see it.
Big giant lizard.
It is a nod to the original Godzilla. No, Godzilla's not on screen the entire movie. He's not.
No,
But-
he's like 5 minutes. That's what everybody that I've talked to is like, man, it's only 5 minutes of Godzilla.
No,
I heard
more than that.
they really have a lot of anticipation for him though. So his 5 minutes of fame are like awesome. I haven't seen it yet, so I
Heard.
can't say.
Yeah, it's more than 5 minutes. Is it like full body Godzilla 5 minutes? Yeah, probably. But there's more than 5 minutes. The fire breath is back, and it's glorious. And the way he used to fight the baddies in the old movies, where like he'd fight, he'd get beat up on a little bit, and then Godzilla does like some quirky move that just wipes the baddie out. He does it. It was very well done. And there's even one scene where one of the characters, and now from a military perspective, this did slap me upside the face a couple of times, and you can attest to this. how quickly do you get to be a Halo jumper, sir? Let's say
What?
you just happen to join a party of Halo jumpers and you get to go ahead and jump in with them, right? Or do you have to go through several
You have
months
to
of
go through
school?
lots of training.
Right. No, like the main character, like he just shows up. He's not with his unit. He's a Marine. He winds up with an Army unit, right, as they're doing their thing. And all of a sudden he's on I think he's on a C-17. I can't remember the plane now. Not that I didn't reckon, I just don't remember it. He's on the back of the bird, and he jumps out with all the other Halo jumpers. And I'm like, wait, whoa. When were you a Halo jumper? Where did this come from? That aside, you see this cool-ass scene as he's literally falling next to the two giant monsters, the two giant kaiju fighting, and it's like right next to Godzilla. It was beautifully shot. They also humanized the villains a little bit, where in the old Godzillas, bad guy comes in and they're just bashing up buildings, and why did you come in and bash up buildings? They gave some method to the madness. It's just some big monster who's just walking and doesn't care what it's tearing up, and then it digs a couple of holes and does its thing. And I'm not going to ruin too much, but it was beautifully done. No, you're not going to see Godzilla on screen all the time, but if you watch the old movies, you don't see Godzilla on the screen all the time.
I'm ready to see
I
it.
heard it sucked.
You heard wrong, sir.
I still want to see it.
multiple
I
people
heard
that
people
didn't
say it was
enjoy
awesome
Several
too.
people said it sucked.
Yeah, well, some people said Spider-Man sucked, and some people said Pacific Rim
Yeah, I
sucked,
thought
and
it
they all
was
died
w-
of cancer.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. A lot of people did not like Spider-Man 2. They were Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2 got a 53% on Rotten Tomato, and I do believe Spider-Man 3 was in the 60s. And
Godzilla got 85%.
Yeah,
So even Rotten Tomatoes liked it. It was good. It was really
I'm not
enjoyable.
saying
I've heard
I haven't seen it
nothing
yet,
but
so I
terrible things.
have not seen it yet. I'm going by the opinion of others, and I will
Yeah.
not judge it myself until
Now-
I see it.
Yeah.
But I
agree
do
with
know that
B-Mad.
Huh?
I do know that Dan from Nerdy Rotten Scoundrels said that it is physically, scientifically impossible for a lizard to be that size because it could not hold up its mass.
I don't care.
Well, nothing.
Suspension of disbelief.
Well,
Oh,
nothing. It's science fiction.
Don't
That's one
ruin
thing. I mean,
Godzilla. God.
Yeah.
I get it. I was just giving them a
Yeah.
plug and telling you what Dan said.
Well, Dan's a jerk.
Right.
He does bore them with science.
It's called movie logic, and as long as they follow movie logic, I'm fine.
Yeah, I understand there's a square cube law that stops you from being that big. I get it. Without having titanium bone structure, and then if you hit the ground, you
Which Gojira does.
practically explode. I get it.
Explode!
I get it.
In
It's
theory.
science
Do you get
fiction.
In
I
theory.
get it.
In
It's
theory.
science fiction.
In theory.
Not
Well, in
science
theory
fact.
is in fact, basically.
No, it's not fact, because nothing's that big to prove it.
Well, I know.
It stays a theory until you have the actual law where Gojira exists, falls to the ground, and explodes. When that happens, then I would accept it as fact. Until then, it's theory. Math is... I'm going to only deviate for a second, just for a second,
deviating.
because we're gonna continue Flick's time. But the number of times I've seen designers, I've worked in graphic design areas, where people will build a truck on paper, and you've got all the dimensions and you've got everything set, and then they build it in person and live, and they're like, well, crap, that didn't work. It worked on paper, but it didn't work on here. So I want to see a real Godzilla. I want to see real Godzilla fall to the earth and explode. When that happens, I'm like, well, damn, that is a law now. Until then, it is a theory. I'm sorry. Off my soapbox.
Okay. I was just saying.
Gojira was awesome. Go see it.
Okay. You know
No,
what?
I-
Outright geek
You-
approved.
You know what would be even more awesome? Friday when Days of Future Past comes out.
No, because see, people can't have real superpowers, so it's just not believable.
Days of Super Past will be amazing.
Days of
You
Super
are no
Past?
fun.
Days of
of
Future
Super
Past
Past.
will be amazing.
So
Outright Geeks approved. Bam.
there you go. What else came out this weekend that everybody liked and wanted? Neighbors? How was Neighbors?
I watched Neighbors. I laughed quite a bit. It was pretty funny.
Seth Rogen's semi-geek. He did a semi-geek movie.
Yeah.
There, so
He did.
They're like a
Green
new
Hornet.
family
Yeah.
living next to an empty house, and it turns out a fraternity moves in, and so they kind of have a battle it out with the fraternity. And Zac Efron was actually kind of funny, and I think that's who that is. I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah,
it
Zac
was.
Efron.
Yeah, with the abs. The super hot poster boy
Yeah.
with lots of abs. That's
I
Zac
guess.
Efron.
He's
Yeah.
a good-looking dude.
Okay,
was
I'm,
funny.
I'm
Freeze
not
everything?
I'm not joining you on that.
Why?
What?
Are you not secure enough to say he's a good-looking dude?
I don't
Okay.
think he's cute.
I didn't say cute. I said he's a good-looking dude.
I don't think he's good looking either.
Why not?
I think it's just me though.
So what's the
Just
premise
not my
of
type
this?
of guy.
What's the premise of the story, Kat?
Neighbors.
I just told you.
That's it.
They
They
move
just
in,
fight?
They just battle it out to try to, yeah.
You're being loud, so I'm going to be louder. You're being obnoxious, so I'm going to be more obnoxious.
It involves airbags in people's seats at one point.
Oh, they showed that on the commercial where they
Yeah.
took his airbag out and blew him up into the ceiling at work.
Yeah.
What
and
else?
his friend.
That's it? It's just a battle of wits?
It's just a funny movie. I liked it.
Okay.
Don't want to spoil.
It's not
too
really a
much.
whole lot to it. Yeah, if I give you any more,
So it's a mindless funny movie.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Just for a good time.
Ah,
I'm
No.
just throwing this up.
you should play the Mario one.
No, I'm giving the show the respect it deserves.
The Mario
So
one's
Game
cooler.
of Thrones.
It was well done. I'll give it that. But this is hands down my favorite intro.
Yeah, but can we play this?
We'll find out later.
I think with the YouTube he said we couldn't play this.
Well, no, what we can do is say this is Game of Thrones, which
There's
is not
sound on
our
YouTube?
property, and it is the intro to an HBO show. We're just letting you hear a small, brief clip of it. There you go. And so that covers that.
I couldn't even play Little Mermaid soundtrack on YouTube, so.
Now
YouTube.
you see her sitting there across the
I
room.
had 3 songs and it was awesome. And even the last bit timed up with my eyes when I flashed my eye makeup, and it was cool.
She
And
don't
then I
got
had
a
to
lot
cancel it.
to say, but her name is the cat. She won't say a word and won't continue saying words until her flicks time. Okay, that's enough. So, Game of Thrones, for those of you who did not read the book, you did not see it coming that Jaime was not going to be the champion. I understand that was a conversation du jour inside this
Yeah,
studio
Kat and
last
Fred.
week.
Kat and Fred have not read the books, and they were like, "It's gonna be Jamie." I'm like, "No,
No.
you haven't read the book." And if you pay attention to the show, there's several hints as we've discussed.
Yeah, they foreshadowed like a champ.
Yeah,
Like as soon as
Prince
Oberyn comes
Oberyn-
in
yeah.
town, he's like, "Yes, I am here to fight." And every time I see him, I'm like, "They should have cast Antonio Banderas." This is like discount Antonio Banderas on screen right now.
Yeah, but he's doing a good job.
He's
That
doing a
actor's
fantastic job.
I like that actor.
I'm not going to pee in his Cheerios.
Hopefully they
Congratulations
don't-
for getting into the show. But every time I see him, I'm like, I just want to see Antonio Banderas come on in here and say, "Yes, I am here to fight the champion." Not the champion. I'm here to fight the mountain that rides.
That's right. He's after him.
Yep. And so you knew from the get-go, and then
And Lord Tywin, he was like, "I will get you this chance if you be on
Mhm.
the
If you
judge's
be the-
seat.
one
If
of
you
the
be one
three
of the
judges.
judges."
Yep. Now,
Set it up.
was this discussed last week about the alternate ending to Game of Thrones? Last week, at the end of Tyrion's speech, you know, he gave that passionate speech, and everyone's like, he's going to get an Oscar just for that speech.
He should have.
He
He
should.
should.
There's an alternate ending.
Oh,
Where-
I played that on Facebook where
Did
he's
you?
dancing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's real.
No, it's real.
He did that.
Yeah, he did that.
Okay.
If you read some of the articles that surrounded it, when they were getting ready to do that alternate ending, he actually bebops up to the dais where he's getting, you know, he's just kind of like, and just kind of dances it up. They clown it up a good deal. I mean,
Well, you have
when you
to.
have to do a serious show of that caliber, you got to get the funny out of the way, and so they just kind of did, and you got people cheering in the background. And
Wish
yeah,
I was
they
a
had
little
fun.
bit taller.
Well,
Wish I was a baller.
They probably all had to wait quite a few hours just for the actors to get set up and stuff. Extras have a lot of wait time.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they all have a
because
good
he's
time.
probably
They're
entertaining
extras.
the extras.
'Cause
He's
they're
a cool
extras.
dude. Peter Dinklage is ridiculously humble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because
he seems like a really awesome guy. He's one of my
He
favorite
does.
characters in the show.
he's a fantastic actor.
Yes, he is.
You know,
He's doing a
going
fantastic
from
job.
underdog to this is just brilliant.
He's
For
got
those
a
of you
long
who didn't
way.
Remember, he was an underdog.
He's got a long way to go with the Game of Thrones if they follow the book.
If they follow the book, yeah, he's in at bare minimum. He's going to make it all the way to the 5th book. I haven't read it, so I don't know what happens in there, but he's at least all the way up to the 5th book.
That's right.
And in this one in particular, spoiler alert. Can we dig into the spoiler alert?
Spoil away.
Hey,
You know I love the spoilers.
Someone dies at the end.
They push that woman out the moon door finally.
Yes.
Woohoo!
I don't like her. I'm glad she's gone.
Yeah, you know the thing is
The
you can
sister
see
Liza?
that.
She was
Isn't that her name,
weird.
Liza?
Yeah, Lysa.
She's
Yeah.
You
completely
could see
psycho.
it set up from a mile away.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, like Littlefinger was just milking
I thought
it.
Sansa was going to do it, but I mean, I know
she
the
doesn't
book.
have it in her.
I know she.
The
doesn't.
number of times
That's
she
her
could have
aunt, isn't it?
Yes, it's her aunt.
And she loved her
So
aunt. She
she
didn't have
was
issues with
gonna
her
to push
aunt.
her down. So the scene is set up where Liza has Sansa by the hair, and is like holding her over the moon door and getting ready
Oh,
to drop
because
her.
because she thinks Okay.
because she saw her kiss Littlefinger kissed her.
Yeah, Littlefinger like full throttle makes out with her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he dug in.
He
And
is a
I saw that.
weird one.
I saw that come out a mile away.
you know, I hate him
He's
more.
because he's being strangely weird about whisking her away. So it's kind of obvious.
It's the only way to get to
She's-
her mother. That's the only person he
No.
says.
no,
There's
no,
more than that.
It's not that. He has like
She's
a
the heir
serious
to
crush
Winterfell.
because
No, I get that part. No, I get his.
He wants
his-
Winterfell.
I get his twisting.
I don't
like-
think he just wants Winterfell. I think he wants her.
I think he wants the.
you know
I
what?
think he
The
wants
way the
throne.
show is setting it up, he's like
She's
in
young
love with her,
enough.
and she's real young. And I think maybe he likes younger girls because he's obviously in a whorehouse.
No.
and-
That's actually not his motive at all. But without giving too much away, because again, if you read the books, that you know that's not
You
his
already know,
motive.
yeah.
He built up this whole relationship with Sansa to piss off Lysa, so he could get himself in a legitimate position where he can knock her out the moon door and get away with it. Because in any other situation, now again, the show doesn't show it as much. Lysa has guards around her at all times. That moon room was supposed to have guards in it. And then they leave the room because Lysa sends them out, and then that's when she starts, her whole intimidating factor, if I remember correctly.
In the book, she sent them away because she wanted to talk to Sansa.
Right, and then she was
they
going
did-
And then
she
they were
probably
alone,
didn't
and
want
then Peter
witnesses
came
to
in.
murder.
Right.
It's probably why
Yeah.
she sent him away.
Now,
Perfect
and this
setup.
is something that BMAT and I have actually discussed a bit, talking off air, but there's some elements that they've taken from the book. Oh, well, actually, a lot of it's taken from the book. And then there's some where they're like, okay, maybe this works better, and they've done a twist. Like Brienne of Tarth. Her first kill should be happening now in the show, but it's already happened because she had a roid rage after Renly died. Okay, but in the book, it should be happening like right in where the show is playing out right now. Bronn was not the guy who trained Jaime on how to fight.
And these things bother Tony to no end.
A little bit, yeah, because there's no sense in not doing it. So I don't know if it's just that the Illing Payne guy didn't want to do it, or because he's not really a character in the show, or they didn't want to pay more money to get this other character in there. But it's Sir Ilyn Payne who trains Jaime because he has no tongue. He can't talk.
Yes, but that doesn't make for good television because if you have a mute fighting Jaime, then there's no back and forth.
And the actor who plays Jaime monologued enough during that period, and he exposes his soul more, so you learn more about the guy, and you realize he really is trying to make
But they
himself
can't-
more
Character
honorable.
development.
But they can't do the monologues.
Sure,
They're
they
not
can. As he's fighting, absolutely, he does it all the time. Tyrion does it all the time.
talks in his head. No, they've
No,
never
not in
done
his head. No, he
internal.
talked out loud. He exposed his soul to Sir Ilyn Payne because he knew Sir Ilyn Payne could not rat him out on any level. Like, he even admits to banging his sister to Sir Ilyn Payne. I don't think he'll ever admit that to Bronn.
I don't remember that from the book, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
been a long time since I've
Yeah,
read the book.
he admits to banging his sister, and Payne will just kind of he has a clicking noise instead of a laugh because he has no tongue.
So what else you got, Kat? Or no, are we? Is that all Game of Thrones? I think that's it, right?
The two big reveals were Oberyn is the champion and Lysa gets killed.
Correct.
There's a contest right now for Star Wars 7
Woohoo!
to be in it.
Put it on the Facebook.
It's not from us. It's a contest that the director is running, I believe.
Yeah.
Although we will help you with that contest if you donate to us the
Yeah, right.
$50,000 to have the 5,000 names in the hat. We will be more than happy to put your name on at least one or two of those slips as we fill out the rest of them.
Ha ha.
And we get to bring one friend along with us. So BMAT and I would go, and we would give you an honorable mention for giving us the $50,000.
Absolutely.
You're so
I think
nice.
that's fair.
So J.J. Abrams posted a video on YouTube announcing that thank you for being Star Wars fans, and you can be in Star Wars Episode 7. So they are partnering with UNICEF and their innovation labs and programs, and if you win, you will be able to shoot a scene for Star Wars Episode 7, be J.J. Abrams VIP guest on set in London, flight and hotel for 2. And you have to at least donate 10, your supporter, 1 entry, and then it goes all the way up to 50 grand. And you'll be a Jedi Grandmaster of the Order with 5,000 entries and limited quantities available. Only 5 left.
You know what I would want to do? And I'm dead serious about this. Like, if I had the money to put in there and win, and let's say I won and I'm his VIP, I would sit them and just grill him about Star Trek.
The whole time?
Just the whole time. Like,
So-
hey, you hear about Star Wars? You excited? This is cool. But tell me, like Spock, do you plan on doing like any different character like development with them? Like, the world blowing up. Well, yeah, I might. But hey, what do you think of the Star Wars movie? We just saw the screening. All right, cool. But tell me, like Kirk coming back from the dead, did you really originally plan this? Was this like a cool trick of yours to make Spock do the big gone? Was that? Yeah, that was. But what do you think? There was no Jar Jar Binks in 7. Thank you for that. But tell me, is there going to be a different Enterprise? And then like that would be my shtick, and J.J. Abrams would hate me, and we'd never do this again, and UNICEF would hate him.
You were like an ulcer inside of an anus that just cannot be itched right. I love you. Advanced private screening of Star Wars Episode 7 in or near your hometown is the prize that you'll win just for doing that, plus the 5,000 entries. So if you want to spend $50,000 to get your own private screening, how many
We need a roundtable real quick, though, because you have to mention where the screening is done for the 25,000.
Okay, so if you do 25,000, you're a Jedi Master of the High Council, and you get 2,500 entries, and there's only 9 left. You better hurry.
But where do they watch the movie?
The advanced preview screening of Star Wars Episode 7 at Lucasfilm.
Where would you rather do it? Would you rather, and mind you, Edwardsville, we love you, but would you rather be at the AMC in Edwardsville or the the AMC at the Islands, because technically that would be the Alton local one, or would you rather go to freaking Lucasfilm and watch this movie?
Lucasfilm.
Well, yeah, but for that much money.
But they're not saying that they're going to get you there.
I mean,
they're saying
you're
that you're going to have to
paying
be flown
20
there.
Yeah, but if you're paying out $25,000, are you really paying that much extra to fly out to California or wherever?
That probably includes airfare.
It's $50,000 to
so.
keep it local.
Well, no,
so you got to
but
pay double
it
to
pretty
keep it
much pays
local.
it
I
off.
just spend the extra $5. Let's just say $5,000 on an SNG.
What's the biggest theater in this area?
In this area, well,
Yeah.
Edwardsville, in my
Edwardsville?
opinion, yeah.
It doesn't have to be in here.
Unless,
over here.
I mean,
What
if
about
we're
St. Louis?
considering
St.
Alton,
Louis?
oh yeah, Warenberg is there, and then the one inside the St. Louis Mills is a decent size. It's got an IMAX.
I would be charging my friends to get the money. I'd be
Yeah.
like $10 to see the movie, dude. Private screening.
That private screening. Would
Did
be-
you hear about the return to practical effects with Star Wars Episode 7?
Where they're going
did
back
you
to like
see
the
it?
original
Did
banging
you see
on
the little
pipes?
creature that like kind of
Yeah.
popped through that
Yeah.
kind of went through there? It was definitely a Muppet looking character.
Well,
Did you see
and
it?
I'm happy that they're going back to that rather than
They're
CG
giving
the
they're
whole
giving
If
out
they
thing.
do it
jobs,
right, yes.
Yeah.
If they do, oh yeah, no, it looks beautiful.
Special effects.
Like, give it
The art is
life.
beautiful.
Yay.
The
Yeah.
models are beautiful.
It's definitely a Muppet looking character.
I feel like there's something just completely different with CGI versus characters you can actually interact with.
But because you actually have a visual interaction. Some actors are capable of it, some are not.
Well,
Let's
not
go back
just
to Game of
that.
Thrones real quick. Obviously, all the dragons are CGI.
Yeah.
What's her name? Maria? The girl that plays Daenerys Targaryen, however you pronounce that last name. She does a fairly decent job at pretending to look at dragons in the sky.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
I think, hell, in the original Star Wars, when they re-CGI'd everything, it just looked like because obviously the CGI was placed in
Well,
after
the
the
weirdest
fact.
one was
So
the
it doesn't
Han
look like
Solo.
they're looking at it right.
The weirdest one was the Han Solo scene where they put Jabba the Hutt.
Exactly. That's actually where
There
I
was
was
an actual. There was in the original, even though that's a deleted scene. In the original scene, it was a person,
Yeah.
and then they have him walking over the tail and
He
everything
steps
else.
on the tail and you see the whoa, and the
it was-
eyes bug out, and
Yeah,
it
it
goes
was all
cartoon.
really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't like it at all.
What else is out there?
Well, Arrow just ended.
Well,
It did.
you know, I'm actually happy because that means it's going to go to Netflix soon. I can finally watch all of
Yeah,
Season
I was
2
gonna say, I
it-
just finished all of what's on Netflix, so
Mhm.
I'm a little caught up with that. But
Season 2 is great. Like, it's amazing. The finale was a little anticlimactic.
because it's going to continue.
It's not that, I mean,
I'm asking because I didn't get to see it.
well, yeah, it's going to continue.
Okay.
I mean, like, obviously, it's the, like, highly,
I'm
I
liking
think it's
the
the
show.
highest rated show on CW.
So what
that
characters did
says
they introduce?
A lot and not a lot at the same time because it's a CW, so it's like we have 10 viewers. Keep it going.
You'd
Obviously,
be
it has more
surprised.
than that,
Yeah,
but-
you'd be surprised what numbers CW brings in, especially off their DC stuff. Smallville brought in really good numbers.
That's why it lasted 10 years.
Yeah, I mean it's a great network for that, supernatural type stuff. But every time they put like a drama or something on there, it's just kind of
Or a
garbage.
comedy. They don't do well with their comedies.
Yeah, it's just kind of blech. But
Because they picked up all the UPN comedies, basically.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
But it ended well. Just in comparison to the entire season, it felt like it fell short
It's
a little
so
bit.
hard to end something, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Or maybe you're just looking for a better cliffhanger.
It's not even. I didn't want a cliffhanger. It's just like there's certain things like there's this tunnel scene where I don't want to ruin too much for you, but basically a bunch of superhuman-esque type guys, and they found a cure to make them not superhumans. And there's this fight scene in this tunnel where they're fighting all these superhumans. And they just whoop the crap out of them. And it's like, I understand that they have the cure and they're, they understand what they're doing fight, but these are also like, people that should know how to fight as well, and they have super strength. So it's just kind of, it got there and then just kind of was like, oh, it's over, and then the fight between Deathstroke and Arrow at the end was just, it was good. All in all, it was a good episode, but it was a good episode. It wasn't a good season finale. And you've seen all of season 1?
Yes.
So the season finale of season 1 was just mind-blowing, at the time. Whenever, I don't know how it was for you, but everybody, whenever it happened, was just shocked.
Is there
They
only
actually
one
like
season
wiped
on
out
there?
all of the
the Glades
yeah.
and everything,
Yeah.
and Tommy dying. I mean, like, it was just kind
I
of like
was
a,
crying.
whoa. Like, it was a big episode.
So are you
And this
saying
one
that
had that, but it wasn't. It had a lot of lead up more than it had,
Come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that the season finale of S.H.I.E.L.D. was better than Arrow?
I haven't seen the season
Oh, you
finale
have
of
not?
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
I'm actually going to go catch back up on S.H.I.E.L.D. just because
That last episode was amazing.
it just lost my interest in the middle of the season.
It lost everyone's. It only
Yeah.
got better towards the end.
So I'm going to go back and watch it and then start back up season 2 and actually
Gotcha.
stay steady with it. Besides that, I can't really think of anything
Batman versus
TV-wise.
Superman.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of
Justice.
Justice. They put a tagline at the end of this movie
Didn't
that
need it.
didn't need a tagline.
Horrible idea.
Yeah.
Stupid.
You already have Batman versus Superman. You don't
Which is
need
enough.
anything
That's
extra.
enough. Yeah.
Well,
Dawn of Justice.
I think the reason they're doing that is it's
You
like
got to do the voice. Ready? It is Batman versus Superman. Dawn of Justice.
there you
which
go.
leads up to Justice League.
Yeah. That's why they put it in.
Unnecessary.
You know
Oh, yeah,
what?
absolutely
I'm
unnecessary.
seeing the correlation finally. I'm seeing it. I'm sorry. I missed it, but... and I'm being serious right now. I know I'm kind of giving it like a campy like intro, but remember Captain America was the last solo movie before they went into
The
the
first
Avengers.
Avenger.
They called it the
Yeah.
first Avenger.
That's what they're doing.
yeah,
They're
it's the
copying.
exact big time. That's gay. That's ridiculous.
It's bad. It's bad.
I think lame is the politically correct term to
Yes.
use.
Okay, if
It's lame.
It's lame.
if you want to go there, sure, but lame shouldn't be political because lame people, it's not their fault that they are the way they are. And I have much love for homosexuals, but that was the word that exploded out of my mouth. If you're offended, I apologize.
no one's
anyways.
offended. Anyway.
I'm offended by Batman vs Superman Dawn of
Yeah, very
Justice
offended,
by
very offended.
anything. Like
I was happy
yeah.
seeing the bat suit, even though a lot of people
Oh, I
seemed
like
upset
the
by
bat
it.
suit,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
I think
looking.
it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's very amazing looking.
Transformers. That's also on the brink. That comes out next July. June or July. They had another preview at
The
Godzilla.
Dinobots look cool.
And dude, Grimlock looks intense.
He does. I'm just not as enthused by anything that Michael Bay does to my 80s characters.
I think he
Yep.
finally. I think
But
enough
Mark
people
Wahlberg-
kicked him in the nuts
I'm okay
with
that.
with part 3 because this does not have the feel of 3 at all.
That's
I'm just saying, like
All right.
from the preview, the way the
but
title logo
Turtles?
comes out.
I went into.
Turtles is another story, and he
Okay.
needs to be kicked in the
I think
junk for
he's
Turtles.
producing, not actually directing that film as well. The
Transformers
Turtles.
4 has a different feel to it.
Mark
and
Wahlberg.
and I'm
well,
actually
at least from the trailer that you saw,
Yeah,
that
'cause
3 minutes.
Whenever I went from
But-
1 to 2, I was like, "Oh, this looks awesome," and then I went and saw 2, and I was like, "Okay, this wasn't so awesome," and then I was like. 2 to 3, I was like, "Oh, this looks much better, much different feel." I was like, "They're really going in the right direction."
they still
now.
had
And I
Shia
was like,
LaBeouf, and
See, I
then they
don't-
gave the Constructicons testicles. They did. I mean, this. I'm not.
No,
I'm
I
not
know.
joking. They did. They gave the 2 wrecking balls became testicles, and you're like, really? Come on, dude. It really had that blue humor, the kind of humor that I like to do, but I don't like to watch. If that makes any sense.
None at all.
Yeah, you know what? Andrew Dice Clay's the same way. The humor he does, he can't stand to listen to. It's weird. I feel the same way when I'm
you
watching.
love Andrew Dice, don't you?
He was funny. I love doing lowbrow humor, but I don't like watching lowbrow humor. With Transformers 4, it just felt different than the other 3 did.
So what did you think about the new trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy then? Because I thought that he was every bit of Guardians of the Galaxy that I see makes me want. I salivate to see this movie. It's so good.
Because I don't know the Guardians of the Galaxy, and aside from the 2 comics I picked up at Free Comic Book Day, because apparently there were 2. There was a Rocket Raccoon solo,
Yes.
and then the Guardians of the Galaxy on their own. Aside from that, I've never known about them. But I am intrigued as all hell by the layout, the setup. The artwork is beautiful. Rocket Raccoon looks beautiful.
Actually, that's kind of my excitement for Guardians of the Galaxy is that I don't know. And like going into all these Marvel films, it's like, oh, I have a preconceived notion of what these characters are. In a long, like my lifespan, I've known these characters. I'm a younger guy, so I mean, like especially in my lifespan,
that eye blink of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know these characters in and out, and I'm just kind of like, all right, I want to go see these characters on film. But with Guardians, it's like, wow, something fresh, something new from Marvel that I don't really know anything about. So I'm not going to be sitting there going, well, this doesn't match up to this and this. And
right.
I tend to not do that with the...
I've smacked myself in the head several times so I can forget all the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff before now because this looks amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't read any of the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff unless it's the new stuff.
Yeah,
if
I've
you
heard
want
the
to
new
get
stuff
into
is
it,
much better.
the new stuff is much better. Don't go to Belleville. Go to Fancy
Go to
Books.
Belleville. Buy
Go
it,
to Belleville,
but like
no,
hang
don't.
on to it and then don't watch until after the movie.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I'll tell you right now, the movie has me doing this to random people. Well, I didn't know it did that.
I didn't know what this machine did.
Yeah.
All right, we've got lots of video game to still talk about, but not as much time as we should really be giving Joystick. But Joystick, you've got some video games to talk about, and all of that is coming up next on the Outright Geeks podcast.
Dude, I'm stressing out. It's New Comic Book Wednesday, and I'm nowhere near my favorite comic book store.
Where are you?
I'm in Fairview Heights.
Then go to Fantasy Books and Games. It's right there in Fairview Heights next to the Dandy Inn at 1977 West Highway 50. They have a fantastic collection of comics, books, toys, and games. Grab your stash and come back for the show.
Thanks, Tony B. I'm headed over there right now to Fantasy Books and Games at 1977 West Highway 50.
Or call them at 618-624-0920.
Hey gang, Brant here. Smoke Clean Vapor Shop is the new official Illinois vapor shop of Under Further Review and is the premier location in Fairview Heights for all of your vaping needs. Smoke Clean has over 150 flavors in stock, with our house blends on par with nearly every premium brand. The customer service is excellent, the management team is superb, and the employees are extremely knowledgeable. Nobody beats our prices. We will make it right. Whether you are brand new to vaping or are an experienced user of authentic and clone mods, Smoke Clean is the clear choice for all your vaping needs. Yeah, that's right, I said authentic mods. Smoke Clean is located in Fairview Heights, Illinois at 5200 North Illinois Street, Suite 108, 62208. Call Smoke Clean right now at 618-27-SMOKE. Visit facebook.com/iSmokeClean. Smoke Clean, the official vapor shop of UFR. I smoke clean. Do you?
Tony Bravo, I'm looking for something to do Monday night. You got any plans?
Dude, every Monday night I'm board gaming at Heroic Adventures. I drive out to 1005 Century Drive in Edwardsville, Illinois, and I game till the store closes.
That's awesome. I can stop by, grab some comics, and sit down and game with you.
Why stop at comics? They have an amazing collection of board games, magic cards, toys, and other collectibles. Heroic Adventures is a great place to buy your game and play it too.
Fantastic. I'm like 5 minutes away at SIUE.
I'll see you here at 1005 Century Drive in Edwardsville, Illinois. And if you need to, give them a call at 618-659-0099. And we are the Outright Geeks live out of the OT Media Studios in downtown Alton, Illinois, for the
Historic
Alton, Illinois, and for the sake of the ears of everybody who hates the Epic Sax guy besides me and my select few minions, it's not playing. We went in quiet.
Aww.
For those of you that get to watch this live, enjoy, because it probably won't be recorded due to that little Game of Thrones bit that we did earlier. Hopefully it's brief enough.
Right.
Hopefully it's brief enough. We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see. I don't
So
know.
Joystick.
You're ruining it.
Joystick with the Xbox and the no connect, and he is happy. You know what? He is Pharrell right now. Because he's happy.
Not happy.
Clap along if you
Well,
feel that
happy-ish.
the connect should not be on the box.
Isn't that song in the news right now for like some Ukrainians getting in trouble for dancing to it?
Really?
Yeah, some Pakistani.
Probably
I forget.
Pakistan. I don't know about Ukrainians, but Pakistanis probably.
Some people got in trouble for that song.
Pharrell
All right.
should be in trouble for that song.
So I'll get into the other stuff first before I get into the Connect thing.
Hey, before you do, Plants vs. Zombies.
Plants vs. Zombies Titanfall. That'd be a cool team up. But anyways.
Dude, they should put both of them in Super Smash Brothers.
What? They can't.
Plants vs. Zombies. Why not? Sony donated Solid Snake.
Sony didn't donate Solid Snake. Metal Gear started on the...
Right, but then they were
Nintendo
separate,
NES.
and there was some kind of like communication. They wanted Solid Snake on there. Like I remember reading about
But
this that there was
Sony
some
doesn't
collaboration,
own the rights to Solid Snake.
but there was still some kind
Konami
of
does.
collaboration between Sony and Nintendo.
No.
Okay,
Sorry, you're
I
wrong.
will- on this one I know I'm not because I still to this day remember the article.
All
But
right,
we'll
find
let it go
for
for
me.
right now.
But anyways, so Hyrule Warriors. I'm not sure if that's a definitive name or definite name or whatever you want to call it. But it is, as I said earlier, Legend of Zelda characters in a Dynasty Warriors type gameplay. There's been a lot of mixed reviews on this game. Just people.
Who made it?
I don't know who actually makes it. Tecmo Koei.
I have
guess.
no idea.
But anyways.
But anyways.
But anyway.
Oh, but anyways, happy song leads to arrest in Iran. It was Iran.
That's weird.
Okay.
But anyways,
I'm
personally really excited for this game. I think the fighting style looks really neat mixed with Legend of Zelda. I would like to see the game have some Legend of Zelda like puzzle influence in there. If it doesn't, I don't really care. It's just kind of it is what it is.
Let it be a Dynasty Warriors ripoff,
Yeah,
and I'm content. I
It's
really
what
would be.
it's. Yeah.
Was the animation beautiful?
The animation is beautiful. The
Fantastic.
sprites are beautiful. They're not really sprites, but they're 3D rendered characters. But listen.
Now, if they did that in the game, I would make
okay.
myself be a non-sprite just to hack and slash those little bastards to the...
Yeah, right.
Oh, man, it'd be glorious. Like, I want to have a full-on, just a sprite board, and all you keep hearing is, hey, listen! And you got combo, like
cutting
900
fairies
combo,
and half.
and the final combo will be, hey, listen! Just to really rub it in.
Yeah. But anyways. Game looks awesome. As I said, kind of up in the air on a lot of people that work in the games industry tend to think, oh, well, we don't want our, Legend of Zelda to be, I guess, watered down by...
Don't sully the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't care.
A lot of people do, though.
I don't. Like...
Fanboy
looks,
syndrome.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing justice to the art style of Legend of Zelda. I think that they're going to do justice to what the game is on the Dynasty Warriors end of things. And I think it's nice to see Nintendo let their franchises kind of expand into other things. It's not like it's being called the Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors. It's being called, as of right now, Hyrule Warriors. It's not like you're sitting there going, oh, it's the new Legend of Zelda game.
So what is Hyrule
It's a spin-off.
Warriors?
It's the new game.
Hyrule is the kingdom
that they live in.
that they're in, okay.
Yeah. So, and then
there's
Warriors, like Dynasty Warriors, but
Dynasty Warriors, okay.
yeah,
so
but
that's the game that they're,
Hyrule Warriors. Yeah.
so that's the game they're basing it off of? The fighting style?
The mechanics and
Okay.
gameplay mechanics, yeah.
Got it.
It's Dynasty Warriors. There's other stuff. Halo 5 Guardians. We got a little bit of a little picture, and it's like a Spartan, looks like a Spartan 4 with a blue visor. It's supposed to be a new character. They tweeted out that it's going to be a new character because there was a lot of fan speculation of, oh, it's Cortana, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. No, they said, hey, it's a new character that we're following. They haven't really released much about it. I'm real excited about it, though. I really wanted a Halo game this year, and to find out we are getting one in 2014 makes me happy to own an Xbox One because I'm a Halo buff. That's that's the main reason I buy Xboxes, because I love Halo. It's Mario, Halo, and then Legend
Whatever
of Zelda.
else.
Legend of Zelda right under that. Maybe some Pokemon,
Okay.
A lot of Nintendo, but Halo's that
So you ready to talk about the Xbox yet?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Tony to get back.
Okay.
Because he really wants
what
to
about
talk
the Watch Dogs trailer? Did you see the new one? The new commercial where they're like putting them in the different outfits?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I thought I laughed.
I'm weird about Watch Dogs. I'm not a big Assassin's Creed fan.
Okay.
So
I liked Assassin's Creed. Yeah. I didn't like all of Assassin's Creed. I liked the premise of what is the one? Black Sails? No.
Black Flag.
Black Flag. I liked the premise until I realized that I was in some kind of like weird virtual reality machine.
Oh, that's in all of them.
Oh, I never played the game until then.
Oh, okay.
But I played it for the Pirates. I thought, okay, I'll play Pirates.
Yeah, see, I played the first one, and I was really into it, and there wasn't as much story as there is later. And I understand they got to put story into it, but they also put a lot of gameplay mechanics, and it just gave players more to do. And I get that, and more people like it than, me. I didn't like all the added stuff. I didn't like the build up your town so you get this red suit, and I was just kind of like, I liked the game for what it was at first, where it was just
Well, I played halfway
more
through.
story intensive.
I don't get to play video games as much as you, but I played halfway through that game, and I don't know anything about that franchise, but I grabbed it because I'm like, okay, the trailer looked really cool. I haven't picked up a video game in a while. I'm gonna try something new. I'm playing it. I'm getting into it. And then all of a sudden, I'm like taking off my virtual reality headset inside of the game. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
it's
I mean, it's a
thrown
good
for a
game. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah, that's what I'll say about it. I think the fighting mechanics could be a little more difficult and stuff. I do like somewhat of a challenge when I play a video game. Like whenever I play.
So you don't think Watch Dogs will be a challenge?
Well, it's from the same. It's from
company?
Ubisoft, so it's from the same company. So I'm just kind of like, is it just going to be a futuristic?
I watched the walkthrough. I watched not the walkthrough.
It looks cool. Like
he's walking around, he's doing these things, and I really liked the mechanics of it.
Yeah, I just have enough friends that are getting it that I'm just going to be like, I'm going to play it first. I'm going to play it safe, play it first, and then
we'll borrow it from somebody and I'll play it with you because I really want to know.
You know what I'm actually excited about? You know how the big consoles do the free game? Saints Row 3 is
PS3.
the free game for Xbox.
Oh, is it for Xbox?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm very excited. It's taking a year and a day to download.
Isn't this the version where you can be like a superhero and stuff? You get powers?
I haven't played it.
I
think that's 4.
Is that 4?
Yeah, I think that's 4. That does look fun. Yeah.
That's what I was wanting to know if that would change. Because I really like Saints Row 1 and 2.
I've never played Saints Row.
Never?
I've heard it's like a better version of Grand Theft Auto.
A much better version of Grand Theft Auto.
I don't know if it's better, but I know it's different, at least in its own rights.
I'll say better.
Like it was supposed to be a parody of it, and then it just grew legs of its own and became like something like solid and nice.
Well, I mean, as he just said, in 4 you're like a superhero like type.
Yeah, they've
guy.
changed it a lot now.
It's way different. And that's what's cool about it is it started off, as you said, as a parody and grew legs and became something different.
Yeah, like in the first
GTA.
one, you're just a punk, and then you join a gang, and then you're gang fighting, and you can get better outfits, and everything's purple. Lots of purple stuff.
There's now your brother Tim is big on this show. I can't remember the name of it, but like what's Haley playing or some crap like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey Ash, what you playing?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And apparently they talk about Saints Row 3 in there about how it's just so brilliantly deep in that you can play like a fat just rolls blubbering everywhere and you have them like bebopping in the middle of the street like stopping a bus or some crazy crap, and I'm like, that is ridiculously deep. Like, because your standard characters in a video game are all your stereotypical or prototypical, big, buff, or slender young lady. Or in this case, no. There's his big mama coming in and just dropping it like it's hot.
I gotta bring up before we get into the Kinect discussion. The Arkham Knight trailer, the new Batman trailer, showed off gameplay, and to quote B. Mad, the art in that game is beautiful. I mean, they
stepped it up a couple notches.
They definitely stepped it up for next gen. Let alone it just looks so good. It's, in my opinion, the best art style. I like the first Arkham game, and the second Arkham game's art style, all right. Origins was pretty good, but this one just like to me it's just like they keep getting better and better.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, man, you guys know what you're doing. Like whoever does like their design just knows what the hell they're doing.
Better and better aesthetically or better and better gameplay?
Aesthetically.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but the gameplay
doesn't change much, does it?
No, not too much.
I mean, between 1 and 2,
it got more open world.
yeah.
Than
And the gadgets got cooler.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, like, and that's also a game where it reminds me a lot of Assassin's Creed, and I'm not big into that type of game, but because it's Batman, I can enjoy it. So, the Kinect thing, though. If you haven't checked out the Arkham Knight trailer, I can't sit here and, like, detail what it looks like. Just go check it out. It looks awesome. Kinect. You said that you don't think that the Kinect game market will be drying up because of the Kinectless bundle.
I think that it'll be just like regular Xbox, where you can make it go across both ways. You can have your game, have it with Kinect, capabilities, and then do it without Kinect capabilities. And I think a lot of developers will wind up going that road because they still want to appease all the Kinect players. There's still so much you can do with the Kinect, but at the same time, you've got people like me. I don't care. I'm not going to sit there. I'm too old to bebop or pretend I'm actually playing soccer in my living room. And I don't want FIFA, 2015, for example, to be purely Kinect compatible, where you just see me kind of like, pulling a hammy in my living room.
Yeah. Now, I don't want every game to be Kinect compatible. I'm not going to go that route. I'm not that guy. I like a controller. I play Titanfall. If I had to play Titanfall with Kinect, I'd be really upset.
Exactly.
I'd be an upset person. Now, my thing is that with Kinect being bundled, before you had this opportunity where it was like, everybody will have a Kinect that owns an Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
So we can put out a good AAA RTS, for instance, which RTSs have notoriously bad on controllers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have that hand swiping and being able to actually grab stuff and move it, and like, I think that like an RTS like Halo Wars on Kinect could be awesome.
Or could Command and Conquer finally make a positive...
Exactly, hit on console. Like, I think that there's a lot of games that could, and I'm not against motion control. There's a lot of gamers that are like completely against motion control.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think when it's done well, it works. I think it can be something cool. I think that they need to experiment more with it, especially with Kinect, with something that you don't have a controller.
I think we did it okay.
I like
how they did it.
Yeah, the Zelda game was a little much for me. Skyward Sword.
Mm-hmm.
I did not mind using a Wiimote and nunchuck on Mario Galaxy at all.
Or even the base games, like like the two, like what was it, Wii Play and Wii Sports.
Yeah,
they were designed well, and it was fun. But I think
that's actually my problem with Kinect. That's what we're going to be getting now. We're only going to be getting rhythm games. We're only going to be getting party games. Whereas before, if they could make a AAA game that worked for the hardcore gamer and it was made for Kinect, everybody would be like, oh, I already have a Kinect, get me this game.
Right.
But now it's like they're going to be more reluctant to make that game because only 4.5 million people have a Kinect, and out of those 4.5 million people, they might not even want the game. And out of those other people that buy the Kinectless bundle, they're not going to go buy a Kinect for one game.
Can I throw in my 2 cents real quick?
Sure.
Because we've talked about this several times. Yeah, I'm going to make it rain with some hail. Pocket full of change.
That sounded like more than 2 cents.
It was. With my debate on which one should I get, I'm a PlayStation person, and I've been thinking about the 4 because I am a PlayStation person plus price. I'm not gonna lie. And then now that they're gonna take off $100 because they've taken off the stupid Kinect, which I will never use. I've never used a PlayStation Motion. I have no desire to do a Kinect. No desire for any of that stuff. It's not my cup of tea. I like a controller. And then they said they're gonna add external storage, which means you don't have to worry about what size memory you get in that damn thing because you can hook up an external.
Well, they're going to do that for all even with the Kinect ones.
Actually, as it is now,
PlayStation, you can't do that though. You can't have
external
hook up
storage
USB
now? Drive?
I don't think so.
You can. I'm not 100% on that. I know that they're working on patches for both the consoles to get externals working. See, I thought it was the other way. I thought it was Xbox didn't have external storage working and PlayStation did. But I
don't know. I know they announced on GameSpot that the Xbox will not have external storage. The new one.
I think, well, it's not just the new one. It's just a software update that they'll eventually put in.
Yeah.
But anyways,
There was something you said, though. I have to chime in right quick.
Go ahead.
When you said that there's 4.5 million Xboxes already out there with Kinect, it's starting to sound almost like a greed factor is kicking in. Like, oh, man, we can't get more money out of it. If you manage to sell, and maybe it's being a bit overly optimistic, but let's say you sell a quarter percent, 25% of those Kinect people, you sell them a Kinect game. That's still a million of units of that game. That's what I'm looking for that are out there. And at $70 a pop or $60 a pop, whatever they're selling
Sure.
at, you're still putting money in your pocket. I mean, game design, yeah, I get it. It's expensive, but the expensive part has always been the actual console, not the game itself. So I feel that they could still be making a decent profit, but they have to take into consideration the direction the gaming is going and say, okay, this is our new number, not this lofty goal that we once had. To me, it sounds more like you're still going to make your money. Don't worry about this Kinect thing. Quit, crying and being a baby about it. Granted, that's just me, and I've never made big money, but that's just how I feel on that premise.
I understand from a business point of view why they're dropping Kinect. I completely understand, and I'm not saying it's a bad choice.
Well, they have to compete.
Yeah, I completely understand it. I completely get it, and I do not disagree with it.
Microsoft's not stupid. Anything that the PlayStation does, they're like, oh, this is not working for us. Let's change it. Yeah. They have no qualms.
PlayStation over 7 million and Xbox, at 4.5 million. They needed to do something to try and catch back up. I get it, but at the same time, it is kind of I've heard on numerous news sources that are like, oh, it's not screwing you. Or it's like, yeah, but it's screwing up the potential of me getting that AAA game that you guys said that you were never dropping the Kinect. You said that, I went out and bought this thing day one.
Now you can buy them separate.
What?
They're saying you'll be able to buy them separate.
I know.
For the $100.
I get, probably 120. They'll probably...
Yeah, they'll jack it up a little bit.
They'll get some money out of you. No, I mean, I get that people can still buy Kinect, but the install base of Kinect is going to drop, dramatically to the amount of Xbox Ones there. So for me as an early adopter, I don't want to have paid $100 just to use voice commands because I won't play Kinect Sports Rivals. I won't play these games, but I had an opportunity.
That's why I waited. Ha ha.
Yeah. I mean, it happens.
It happens with every console, unfortunately.
To an extent.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I understand a price drop. I get that. But whenever you're putting out a console saying it's an all-in-one device and you're never going to drop the Kinect because it's a core element of the console, and then 7 months in, you go, well, we're dropping the Kinect because our sales aren't so good. And it's just kind of like, well, now you're taking that promise of these, core gaming Kinect games out of the picture almost because I don't think that they'll create them because it's not going to make them money. Microsoft does not do things that they do not think will make them money.
And I was about to say, if you take into consideration, and maybe they're all looking at Nintendo as a model because Nintendo has done what throughout all their consoles? They've tried to be
sold them very poorly,
but they've also tried to be innovative in some form, fashion, or other. With the GameCube, they had the mini disc, which they guaranteed to you
miserably.
That was their thing. They were like, "You will not get to play a DVD on here because we are strictly a gaming console," and it slapped them in the face. Yeah. Right? And then when they went to the 64, they had that innovative controller, which always made me think of Star Wars, the Rebel Alliance logo a little bit. Okay? And did it fail? No, but was it kind of clunky and awkward? Yeah, a little bit.
And did the sales of the console do that well? Not really.
No, not really. I mean, what carried the N64 were WCW, that wrestling game. I can't remember the name of the WCW game. I played it all the freaking time. And GoldenEye absolutely carried those consoles. And then you had Conker's Bad Fur Day, and you had a couple others that were really
Super
fun.
Mario 3D Land. You had Ocarina of Time. But even the install base of Zelda games aren't really that great. The attach rate of them is it's not that high. I have numbers on my computer I could pull up, but I'm not going to go through all that right now.
Then you move on with N64, and then Wii was next? Or
there's
something between, isn't it?
No, it goes N64, GameCube, then Wii.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
But either way, that there was your innovation, and then you got the Wii, and the Wii had the motion controller. Every time they've tried to be innovative, what happens? Their innovation just makes developers just freaking blow their heads up because they're like, okay, no, here's something new that we got to do. Okay, let's figure out something new we got to do. And it's not enough
to an extent
to drag, your hardcore gamer in. Your hardcore gamer wants certain key elements.
Sure.
That we want pretty in the United States. We like aesthetics.
Yeah.
Okay, N64 did not have that. I mean, it just didn't.
Yeah, but gaming was just different at that time. The thing that killed N64 was
PlayStation.
Was that they weren't innovating. Is that PlayStation went CD and they stayed cartridge.
Right, and cartridge
then,
became more expensive.
Well,
but
and then with the GameCube, as you said before, they're just a gaming company. They didn't innovate. They didn't go to DVD, and they still have not gone to DVD or Blu-ray.
Right.
They still hold true at they're just a gaming company, which I respect.
But it's not helping them.
Not with Wii U, but with Wii, they sold more consoles than either of the consoles last gen. They were the highest selling console. So.
Yeah, but aren't they also the cheapest?
Yeah.
And you have Netflix
Which
on
helps.
there, so
Well,
you can still watch movies.
It's not just about Netflix. It was just about, hey, your grandpa can now play bowling with you. That was, I mean, like, that's what it was about.
No, right, but every time they have something innovative, there was the tablet this go around with Wii U. They're always going the innovative route, and I think when Xbox looked at that, they're like, look, okay, we're trying to be innovative with the Kinect. It's not working. We don't want to be Nintendo. Because Nintendo's still looking at things going, crap, we might become Sega.
No, the Nintendo has $5 billion literally sitting in a bank. Nintendo will not go Sega for they could literally fail 3 console generations before they'd have to even think about.
Hopefully.
No, they could. I'm
just praying.
No,
I
know the
fingers
numbers
crossed.
on Nintendo.
I just got my fingers crossed that the next thing that they do is going to just blow all of our minds because they've been so far behind everyone else.
No, they've been
their portable
this
gaming
gen,
has been
this
Wii
gen
U?
only. This gen only. That's last gen, as I said, they were the highest selling console. Like their gimmicks sometimes
because of
work.
price.
No,
They sold because of price.
No, it's not just because of price. It's because of innovation. Yeah, as I said, your grandpa had a Wii in his living room.
Think as a parent, you're going to buy your kid a present. It's the middle of a recession. During that time, it was a recession, and he wants a video game. You're going to buy the cheapest one. I feel that way. That's my opinion.
No,
I could be
I get
completely
that.
wrong, but I think that it sold more than anyone else because at that time,
I think price helped
a lot.
I think price helped a lot, but also at the same time, it's not just price. Whenever everybody can play your games,
But as a
I know,
hardcore gamer,
my
who chased what? As a hardcore gamer,
hardcore gamer. I mean,
you didn't look at the Wii.
Well, no, that's not true.
Aside from
because
Super
whenever
Mario.
whenever the Wii came out, hardcore gamers wanted that thing because it was new, it was innovative,
Right,
it was
because
different.
it was new. But once it moved along and the 3 were
Yeah,
all
the
fighting
lifespan
side by side. Right, but that's the problem. I mean, look at how long the Wii lasted versus... And we do got to wrap things up. I don't know if the Nerdy Rotten Scoundrels are behind us at all or not, but we have run long
They're not
tonight.
breaking down the door yet, so...
No, I locked it, so they had, whatever. No, but all that aside, when the 3 came out side by side, and Wii was no longer the lone next gen on the block, you had PS3 out there, and you had Xbox 360.
Xbox 360 came out first.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, I wasn't doing it in order. I apologize.
Okay.
But that being said, when the 3 of them were side by side, Wii U sold the most.
Wii, yeah.
Thank you. Sold the most not because of innovation anymore, but because they were cheap.
No, I don't agree with that at all. My mom bought a Wii.
Right, because she's not playing hardcore, Call of Duty.
Yeah. So she bought a console. That's all I have to say.
Because it wasn't that expensive.
Not because it was $200, because she wanted to bowl.
Okay.
The other consoles did not have that.
So you're saying that it was the motion control that sold it?
Oh, definitely. I think the price helped. I'm not arguing that.
I mean,
think
the Kinect is out there. They had goofy party games for the Kinect. I think if all 3 came out side by side...
At the exact same price, then maybe there'd be there'd be a run for your money.
But the Kinect made it much more expensive.
Yeah.
So people weren't clamoring for that. I really do
Well,
believe it's
I wasn't
okay,
wanting to
hold
play
on.
bowling.
You're also talking about a product that had already technically been on the market because Kinect had been out for the Xbox 360 for numerous amounts of years, and it wasn't a new flashy thing. It was an old thing that is
Kinect?
Yeah, and remade and flashy.
No,
on
no,
a
I'm not
new
going
console.
Xbox One. I'm still. What gen are they? Gen 5? Whatever gen, Wii versus PS3 versus Xbox 360. That gen, if the Kinect had come out earlier, I do believe that if it had the same goofy party games that Nintendo has, because Nintendo at this point is catering more to the younger generation and the older non-hardcore gamer generation. is what they're technically catering to. Yes, there's some games to get, some of us, into the mix. Like, I'm big on the Mario series.
I'm a hardcore Nintendo fan, so I like Nintendo products.
And
I get it.
And hence why you're defending them as hard. But I really think
I'm not defending them. I'm just
if the
stating
Kinect
facts.
came out earlier, but had its price, which I think it would have, because that's just what Microsoft is going to do. That Kinect is going to be $120.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to say this for Joystick. It was targeting a broader demographic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It was hitting everybody.
It was. So they would definitely sell more in that aspect.
Yeah.
Because as a 20-something-year-old gamer, the 3 and the 360 were where you were going for your games. Your kids and your grandparents and parents buying for kids are going to go for the Wii because it's game towards those people.
And
but price did help.
My brother was that age at that time. He wanted a Wii. I stood out at the mall to get him a Wii because they were, for one, hard.
Why didn't he go get his own damn Wii?
But your brother's also
nice guy.
very big into the Mario series. Your
He's
brother's
big into
also
video
very
games.
big into the Zelda series.
Well, I get that.
But I mean, if you ask him now, what does he play more?
I'm not arguing that
it's
he
the other
doesn't
two
play
consoles.
those consoles more.
I hate the fact that we picked our big, good radio
We can bring it
argument.
back up
It's going to have to come back later.
We're going to have to have a Wii argument next episode.
Yeah, no, because I agree with you. It is the broad demographic, absolutely. But at
Yeah.
the same time, that price helped big time. Ladies and gentlemen,
I agree with that 100%.
we are the Outright Geeks. Thanks for keeping us company during the night as we regale you with wonderful stories of, and I apologize again to anyone who was offended by my comment. It was an outburst. I shouldn't have said it. But
we'll beat him later.
Yeah, they'll beat me horribly. I think maybe it was the naked man in my bed just kind of made me burst out in a way I shouldn't have bursted out. But thank you very much for listening to us. We are the Outright Geeks. We will be back next week to discuss more of the war of the console and who should be winning next. Of course, the beautiful stash will be back. And one of the games that I was able to pick up from Geekway, I'll be able to present that to you from the beautiful and historic downtown Alton, Illinois. We are the Outright Geeks.